So, welcome to another episode of the Swamp Inside Fort Athletics. I'm your co-host Anthony Beck, along with my other co-hosts.
Jerry Brown.
And of course, the man Marcus Davis.
How you guys doing, man?
Excellent, bro. It's a great night to be alive. It's a great night to be watching football, bro. I'm doing very, very well here, bro. Very happy. How about the rest of y'all boys?
Fantastic. Other than circumstances, it's game week, bro. We almost here.
Yeah, due to circumstances beyond his control. But matter of fact, before we even get into that, Marcus, how are you feeling?
I'm better, man. Other than super congestion right now, as you can probably tell by my voice, I'm doing all right.
That's good to hear, bro. That's good to hear. And I think we just got Alex back in here, so.
Yeah, we got a special guest joining us tonight from Rivals.com, publisher of the U Boys on UteNation.com, on Rivals.com. We have Alex Markham joining us. Alex, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, you guys. How about yourselves? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, bro. It's a pleasure, man. We're doing well.
You're doing pretty well, man. As we all know, it's game week as we have a few games on right now.
I apologize if it freezes any of that stuff. So.
Can you hear us?
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. We know it's game week. We actually have West Virginia and Pitt on right now. They're tied at 24.
Yes, sir.
So college football is officially back, and we're here to preview the Florida-Utah game. Utah's coming in ranked number 7 in the country in preseason. So, Alex, I guess my first question is, with this Utah team, I guess let's talk about some of the key players returning for the Utes and, who are going to be some of the impact players we're going to see Saturday night.
So immediately right off the bat, you want to talk about Cam Rising. Okay, Utah's quarterback. So last year, it was really kind of interesting and unique, right? He ended up being named the team captain last year. Ended up losing the job to Charlie Brewer. To some, it was a little expected because he was coming back from a shoulder injury, right? And Brewer, I mean, his numbers from years past stood for them. Utah got off to that start, and as soon as Cam Rising came in, the ball, right? Well, last year, he was 100% healthy. He wasn't 100% himself, right? And so he didn't have the full range of motion in his arm. He didn't have the strength. Back now, And so Kyle Whittingham, Utah's head coach, just gloats and gloats about him, calls him the leader of the leaders, a guy that he would trust his life with. That's rare that you hear Kyle Whittingham say stuff like that about a guy and just always talk glowingly, right? And Cam's got their full trust. Again, his arm strength's back. He's making all the throws. He actually went out to the Manning Passing Academy a couple months ago and lit it up, And so there's a lot of high expectations for him. I don't feel like he's getting as much preseason love as he deserves. Part of it's because of some of the quarterback transfers that came into the Pac-12. But Utah's number 7 right now. If they keep doing what they're supposed to be doing with that ranking, Cam's going to be right in the conversation. He's a dual threat. Like I said, he can make throws. He can run it when needed. I don't know if you guys watched the Rose Bowl, but
yes.
He busted a few, good sized runs against Ohio State. So it all starts with him, right? From there he's got these 2 tight ends. One's more of a hybrid, Brent Keithy. Okay, the other one is Dalton Kincaid. And, there are some funny things that kind of went on in the off season with Alabama and some stuff and some erroneous reports, right, that Dalton was going to go in the portal and go to Bama. But I know that there's enough smoke to the fire and everything that there were conversations through those guys that basically it's like they viewed him as the closest thing in college football to a Travis Kelce, right? Yeah, you know, and
That's high
again,
praise.
I'm a huge Travis Kelce fan, you know, so
So am I.
I cringe when I
don't
hear
like
that
them.
comparison, right? But that's a huge compliment, and coming from a program like that, you know, so
Oh, of course.
you
Of
know,
course, yeah.
you know, so yeah, so I mean, the unique thing with Utah is, I mean, they're two big time playmakers in the passing game are tight ends. You know,
Mhm.
again, Keithy will line up at tight end, but he'll also he's not your prototypical size tight end wise, right? So he'll also line up in the slot depending on the situations as well. Really, just try to utilize him as much as possible. Try to get him the ball as much as possible. Where the weather could play a factor. Another guy that you're going to want to look for on offense is Tavion Thomas. Okay, Utah's running back.
That's the guy.
Yeah, he's a beast. When his head's right, he's a beast. Okay, in the off season, you know, he was going through some struggles and, you know, just off the field things, and you know, he was able to take the time, get his mind right, get locked in. At one point in the off season, he was over 250 pounds.
Bro, what?
Yeah, exactly, right. 6'2", 250, like over 250. But you know, he started grinding, locked in, got to fall camp. He's down to about 237 right now.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, everything I've heard is because we weren't able to actually see practices. You know, so that was unfortunate, you know, so just kind of having to rely on some of the people that I know and trust. And they said he's just so locked in. He's ahead of where he was last year. And they're expecting nothing but good things from him, which again, that's a huge positive, because going into camp, everybody's like, oh no, this might have to end up being a running back. You know, it might have to be a split carry kind of deal. And, you know, it's looking good. Defensively, you know, you're going to have Clark Phillips. Okay. Utah's cornerback. He's a total stud. He was actually committed to Ohio State late in the process. You know, Utah was able to swing him, and he had a dominant game against the Buckeyes in the Rose Bowl. You know, and so he's proven it against big time talent. You know, it doesn't get much better than C.J. Stroud and Smith. And I'm going to butcher last name, but Smith Najigba, right?
Smith Najigba,
yeah. So he's proven. Now, here's the thing for you guys. Okay, so you know, Kyle Whittingham has been really complimentary of Anthony Richardson. You know, obviously 4.3 speed, says he can make all the throws. Now, where his inexperience can come into play is, you know, if he knows stay away from Clark Phillips and he starts going after Utah's other cornerback, Travis Broughton. Broughton was actually all Pac-12 the year before, and got hurt early in the season. So Utah's now, so outside of the Ohio State game, when they actually had to have a running back play cornerback, right? Which was
that.
It was nuts. And you know, he was playing both ways. Mekhi Bernard, you know, God bless him, right?
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. But now the cornerbacks are back to full strength. You know, they trust they're too deep on it, but their two starters are just you know, when it comes to at least the Pac-12 competition that they faced, it's easy to call those two lockdown corners.
Gotcha.
You know, I know I'm rattling off a bunch for you guys.
You're giving us a lot of info that we need, bro. For sure.
Of course.
Man.
Of course, dude. I love talking this stuff. But
it's good to have you on. Speaking
trust
of
me, man, we love it too, just as much.
For sure. But yeah, you know, before we jump into like the front seven area, you know, in the back end at safety, they got this kid Cole Bishop. He only started 6 games for them last year, but a lot of it was because they had high expectations for him. He had a little nagging injury that kind of compounded. And then, you know, about the Stanford game is when he came in and he started blowing up. You know, he's already being recognized as like preseason first team all conference potential selection, you know, and so on. So they know what they have in him, you know, and Utah's always delivered really good, produced really good safeties. They're looking at this kid like he's the next in line of the top of the top. But at the same time, too, you know, he's still a sophomore. You know, he's still going to be vulnerable to some of those mistakes, but his football IQ is off the charts. Linebacker, you know,
I always got linebackers, don't you?
Yeah.
yeah. So linebacker,
Boy, was that guy last year.
Shout out my man Devin Lloyd.
what's that? Devin Lloyd.
Marcus
Lloyd's
here-
a freak. How
Marcus
is
here
it
is a Jags fan.
Jacksonville?
He's a Jag. He's a Jag.
Yeah, Marcus is a Jags fan, so he was very excited about that pick.
He's, you know what? Here's the thing. He is so athletic. He's so smart. Just everything about the guy. Great leader, right? But man, he's that type that you want to have represent your franchise. And so I love how well he's been doing. I know Jacksonville loves him. So
you have no idea. We love this guy. He's out in the community doing everything, and then on the field, he had a hamstring injury, and so he didn't really get to do much in camp. And then he got to play last preseason game. He looked awfully good, so I am excited.
Yeah, no, he's man. I'm telling you, he can play up in the box. He can drop back for the pass. I mean, he had that crucial pick six. I mean, I say crucial. It was pretty much the nail in the coffin. Like I can't remember if it was towards the end of the first quarter or start of the second quarter, but in the Pac-12 championship game against Oregon, right, where it's just like, oh damn, they're done. Devin should just close the door on him, right? But yeah, so I mean, Utah obviously got Mo Diabate from Florida, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, he was their top tackler last year.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was.
He didn't play in spring ball because of surgery from an injury that he got as a Gator. But he soaked in the playbook, was real active that way. And then also, fall camp hit and just total stud. And one of the things I've definitely heard about him is he's just got that dog in him, right? He's the type that will make that play when that play has to be made, and he's going to tell everybody, I'm going to make this play. Get out of my way. I'm going to make this play. And Utah's coaches love that, right? And then they got another kid that was a part-time starter for him at linebacker last year when one of their guys had an injury. He's back, Trenton Reed. He's a stud. He's rock solid. But the guy that everybody's really excited about is Lander Barton, who was a top 100 recruit. And quite frankly, like my guys at Rivals don't even feel like they rated him high enough on that.
Oh wow.
He's came in and
he's that good.
Yeah, he's very similar to Devin Lloyd. He's not obviously not on that level right now, right? I mean, he's a true freshman. But when he gets in that game, he's not going to play like a true freshman. So defensive line wise, and again, I'm kind of taking you guys through all the position groups just to kind of give you guys some insight. But defensive line, they got this guy, Junior Tafuna. Now, here's the interesting thing with Utah, okay, is more and more teams out there have tried to jump into the Polynesian pipeline.
Yes.
Right? Especially when it comes to offensive and defensive line. And they're successful to an extent, right? But the thing is like Utah will lose out on a decent amount of the battles for the Polynesian kids that are 4- or 5-star kids already over 300 pounds and so on, right?
Right.
But it doesn't matter to them because you take a look at somebody like Junior Tafuna and then also the other guy, Tennessee Pututau, that's starting alongside him. Tennessee was a defensive end in high school. Junior was a linebacker. Junior was a 230-pound linebacker. He's now a rock solid, just under 300-pound defensive tackle.
Bro, what the?
Yeah, at 6'4".
That's actually crazy.
Right. So what Utah looks for in that stuff is obviously family genetics, because I mean they've got enough track record with knowing those people, with knowing a lot of those people within the island communities and stuff like that, because there's so much that has already ran through Utah and just how those relationships go, right? But with that, so they take a look at that and take a look at the frame, and then they also just sit back and say, okay, how's this kid's athleticism already? How's his twitch? How's his feet? Junior was one of those guys that they saw that with, thought they could project him, and yeah, he's grown into a man child. I know Cam Rising was asked out of everybody he's faced or anybody on the Utah team, any opponent or anybody on the Utah team who's the one guy he does not want to see staring him in the face in the backfield, and he just says absolutely Junior Tafuna. So defensive end wise, they're kind of young there. They do have a guy, Van Fillinger, that he's on his second year start, and he started a little bit in I want to say he started at least one game in the shortened 2020 season. But he's somebody to watch. But at the same time too, if they key on him and try to take advantage and go to the other side, Utah's starting defensive end on the other side is this kid, Jonah Ellis. His dad is actually a coach at Utah now, but he's one of the all-time greats of the program, played years with the Detroit Lions. Okay. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He doesn't have his dad's size, but he's got his tenacity, and at about 245 pounds, he runs a 4.5 40 for a defensive end.
Gosh.
So, yeah, I mean, again, I gave you guys a lot of guys, but especially defensively, it's crazy, man, because the depth is there. Offensively, they feel like the depth is there. They feel like the offense can put up the points and carry them this year. But the one thing that you'll notice is I didn't really say much about wide receivers. Okay.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah. So they got this guy, Devon Vele, who him and Cam Rising have developed a pretty damn good connection. The guy has insane ball skills, can win the majority of the 50-50 balls. But the problem is they've seen that potential the last couple of years. Last year, they thought it was coming. He fought some nagging injuries throughout the year. So this is me just, thinking more critical on him than anything. Like, okay, let's see it. Prove it consistently, and at least the first quarter, the first quarter of the schedule, right? And then we can say, okay, yeah, you are that threat, you are that guy. They also got a kid, Money Parks, that has really came on in fall camp. Again, the thing is though, and I caution you fans constantly on this stuff, is they've had wide receivers step up and look really good in camp. And then it just has gone for naught. But the big thing, what's that?
I said, I feel that. We've been there before, bro.
Yeah, we've been there.
It can be painful. But the thing they have going for them this year is, I was told by somebody recently, I was asking about a couple of the wide receivers that have been in the program for a minute and asking, like, okay, when do you think some of the young guys will overtake them? And they said, like, man, I don't know, because what you've got to realize right now is Cam Rising is locked in enough that he's making good players great and great players look fabulous, right. And so to hear something like that and know that Utah has that type of quarterback, behind center for him, Utah's feeling pretty confident. They're feeling like the wide receiver situation is finally going to kind of work itself out and be enough of a threat, still knowing that the top two targets are their tight ends.
Right. And that's
right.
I think that's advantages as far as for you guys, because we still have, of course, you need linebackers that can cover, and we have some guys who I feel confident that can step up, but we're unsure of if they will and what they're going to do. So luckily, they have an opportunity to play at home and kind of get, I guess, feedback from the crowd and everything, and get hype off of that, but we don't necessarily know what,
get in their comfort zone.
Yeah, get in the comfort zone, feel good about themselves, not necessarily be all down in the dumps, because we lost a guy by the name of who's playing tonight, Tron Hopper, who I felt like was going to be our, if not our best, our second best linebacker. And Ventrell Miller is the best linebacker on our team, but he's not the greatest in coverage, right? So we have guys such as Shamar James, we have DeJuan Black, and I didn't even know Hop had a pick tonight. See, there you go. Hopper had a pick tonight against who did they play?
Perfect timing in there.
What's the score of the game? Because I don't have it on. I'm staying away from my buddies because they can be a little rowdy.
Yeah, I have it pulled up. It is 28-10, 31-10 Missouri.
Missouri. Are you talking about West Virginia?
Well, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I was talking about the West Virginia game. West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia's up 31-24.
Okay.
They got Slovis out there running for his life. So yeah.
It's not
Hey, the one thing I can guarantee is a former USC quarterback is going to win that game tonight.
1,000%.
There
Yep.
you go.
lock it in, guaranteed.
I guess what I kind of want to ask you about is actually freshman Jalen Glover, who's a Florida native, and actually won Florida Mr. Football, and that's a big deal here because you win that in the state of Florida. We know that you are a pretty darn good player. So carries wise, like what does it look like for him? Like how much playing time do you think he's going to see?
I think it's going to depend on the weather a little bit. Number one, right? And also, I mean, Utah's not going to hesitate to ride the hot hand. I mean, Tavion Thomas is they believe one of the best backs in the entire country, but at the same time, too, I mean, there's that change of pace that Jalen brings. Okay, I would say right now he's a little bit behind Mekhi Bernard, the guy that they actually had playing cornerback in the Rose Bowl. Mekhi's actually a pretty damn good talent that Tavion was struggling early in the season last year. Mekhi took over and it looked like he was breaking out and then he hurt his shoulder. Okay. So Mekhi's a stud. Mekhi brings the pass catching element. Jalen is going to get time though. The one thing I have been told, so he looked great in spring ball. They were really excited about him. He started off looking really good in fall, but him and a bunch of the other freshmen, right? So not just him, but just kind of hit a little bit of a wall and hit a lull where they've got to learn to fight through that and, just get that game experience and then get that confidence back, right? They're so excited about him. The one thing I want to see from him, okay, and this is something I've talked to people about as well, and they agree within the program is he's so quick and he's good at reading the holes, right? But he busts through for it, and I say like anywhere from 3 to 7 yards, which that's a great carry in the first place, right? But busts through for 3 to 7 yards, right? And all of a sudden there's all this open space, and he can start dancing, What I just want to see Jalen do is trust his instincts. Just trust it and just go and just know that, his speed, his vision when he's in the middle of of running, right? But, his speed, his footwork, his balance, which is pretty good for a freshman, right? The center of gravity and everything. Just trust that stuff, knowing that stuff is already there, and if he just trusts his instincts and goes, it's just going to be that much better off. So it's like right now he's taking runs that could be any, like again, if it's within the 3 to 7 range and he starts dancing, maybe he can get a few more yards off it. But at the same time too, it's stuff that somebody with his talent, if he just trusts it and goes, next thing you know, he's in the end zone and everybody's like, how the hell did that happen? He's a talent. He's going to be really fun to watch. I just don't know if it's going to be this game.
Dang, man, that's a guy. I went back and watched you guys' spring game and some of you guys' games before. I just noticed that Jalen looked like he was just so much. And I guess it's the Florida bias in me, but whenever you see a kid from Florida, they're on the field because they're pretty much faster than everybody else. They're more athletic than everybody else. And he just popped out on you guys' film for me. It was like, wow, this kid is a really, really good talent. But, definitely as a freshman, they hit those, those walls. You have to be able to fit the system and be able to find themselves. So I can definitely understand, why you guys would wait and hold off a little bit on that.
I'll tell you this about him. I was very curious to kind of see him and talk to him face to face in person and stuff like that, and just kind of, get a feel for him. And because in the recruiting process, he came across extremely humble at first. Then it seemed like he was kind of getting a little into his hype, which anybody can, right? I'm sure you guys would be the same way. I'd probably be the same way. And I wasn't wild. And hey, he was focused on his image. He was focused on his brand. Great, right? But at first I was like, why is he in high school doing this NIL stuff? Good for him though, right? But at the same time too, he gets to the U. And so that's where I was like, okay, well, let's see what he's like when I actually can talk to him and get a feel for him in person. I can read people pretty well in person and just one-on-one conversation that way. And
Gotcha.
that kid is so humble and so appreciative of everybody around him and everybody that came before him. And he doesn't take anything for granted. One of the highest compliments he could get, Kay, is so Clark Phillips on the team right now. When he came to the U, he said, okay, these are my goals. This is what I want to do. How do I get here? Utah's cornerback, Sharif Shaw, put a plan together. And he said, sorry, excuse me. He said, look, it's going to take a lot more work than the other guys are going to put in. The other guys are going to be out having fun sometimes. You've got to stay locked in. You've got to do this. You've got to do that, It's kind of carried over to Jalen, and Jalen got here and he saw how Clark was and how he operated right off the bat, and he took to him on that. And Clark has been one of his biggest mentors. And yeah, I mean, everything I've heard is he's the exact same way. These are my goals at this point in time, at this point in time, at this point in time. How do I get here? Help me get here. Let's do this. What do I have to sacrifice? He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. I'm really looking forward to watching him play.
No, definitely, man. I'm excited for you guys to have him. I'm just glad he didn't go to Florida State. I mean, honestly,
right?
Anywhere but Florida State, just
anywhere.
Yeah, we don't need Florida State to have any kind of happiness.
Yeah,
right.
No,
and so not to hijack any questions, right? But you talk about Florida Player of the Year and stuff like that, and that's the Florida Players of the Year have recently done really well for Utah. I mean, Tyler Huntley, right? And
yep.
you got Tyler and Lamar over there with the Ravens. Okay, I cover Utah, right? I've known Tyler really well. I still go back and forth with his mom on Twitter, through DMs and everything. Biggest sweetheart, right? But I will freely admit, just like Tyler freely admits, that, hey, it's Lamar's job. It's like let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not, But I love that dynamic between those two. And I'll tell you this. Tyler Huntley is going to be a better quarterback in the NFL and last so much longer because of that relationship that he has with Lamar. But then also Harbaugh too, right? It's just a great system. But, just the fact that those two have become so tight, because they've known each other for so many years too. And the respect that they have for each other, right? And they're not afraid to say, like, hell, did you see that? He's balling out. Did you see that? I don't know if I could even do that. Like some of the comments Lamar's made. It's been fun to see.
Right. So offensive line wise, how many guys do you guys have returning along the offensive line? Because I know last year, looking at that unit, and especially against Oregon, they pushed guys around.
That was a unit, boy.
Well, it was physical, man. I love this. I love watching that offensive line.
Watching Utah, they've always been very physical. So, like, how's the offensive line looking for you guys?
So that is an awesome question because Utah actually did something different this offseason, okay? The last few years, they've got one of the best offensive line coaches in the country, Jim Harding. The problem is it can take them about a quarter of the way through the season sometimes to really kind of get in lockstep and hit that strike.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Very familiar.
Yeah, Florida the same way, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy how Florida and Utah kind of have these same similarities.
Yeah, they got to get lathered up for like 4 or 5 games, and after that, they kind of start locking in and start playing more like a unit.
I feel you. So with Utah, they in the past what they've done is they like to give the guys versatility, right? And that's a good thing. It's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
So it's good for the versatility and the experience, like when some of the guys start going down and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, the shifting around doesn't help. It doesn't help them focus on that one job and lock in and be able to do it to 100% of their capabilities.
Yep.
And so that's something that they have adjusted to this year and recognized, and they're not moving the guys around a bunch. So from the line last year, they lost Nick Ford, who was one of those versatile guys that moved all over the place. And he actually won the Morris Trophy for top offensive lineman in the Pac-12 last year. And then Bam Olaseni, the big, massive dude, 6'8", like 330 pounds. I'm sure that the majority of you guys know exactly who I'm talking about if you're talking about the Oregon game, right?
Yeah.
And but here's the crazy thing. So with Bam, he ended up finally having everything click last year, right? He actually was not the starter at the start of the year. Jaren Kump was. Jaren Kump went down to an injury. Jaren Kump is a stud. They're so excited to have him back. He's raring and ready to go. So that's a positive for him. Okay. Additionally, Keaton Bills will slide into some of the Nick Ford role. Now, keep in mind, Nick Ford he was all over the line. At portions of the year last year, he was playing center. But when he was actually playing center early in the season, that was when Utah was doing their worst. So Keaton Bills will step right in. He's got a lot of starting. He's got a decent amount of starting experience, right? He's been somebody high on their radar and praised for a long time. So yeah, the offensive line, they're eager to see what they can do. I do have a buddy that used to do some stuff for me with my website. I was talking to him the other day. He played offensive line at Utah in the early 2010s. And he said, look, he's like, I love what they're doing and it's smart. And he was the one using the double-edged sword comparison to me, an analogy. But he just said, he's like, but Alex, I'm telling you, he's like, I still feel like it's going to take them to at least 2 games. He's like, so that's where it's unfortunate that he's like, I'm excited that it's a big game. He's like, but that's where it's usually better off if you have that first game of the season against kind of a patsy, and Florida's not a patsy,
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what we got. A lot of people are saying, that we're going to finish outside of the top, like 4 or 5 of the East. So, I'm just relaxing, man. I don't have any. I guess I don't really have any. I have expectations, but I'm not like going to be super mad about anything. I'm just here for the ride, bro. I'm chilling. I'm relaxed.
That is that Jerry sarcasm we love so much.
Yeah, because let me tell you, when we played Sanford last season, he went to the game
on Twitter thinking that just some lowly, almost FCS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we basically had to call Gainesville EMS for Jerry at this game because he about had a heart attack watching. And you know what? I can't blame him because I'm at home watching and I'm sitting there like, what is going on? It was just one of those years.
It was bad. It was not a good time to be a fan last year.
No, it really wasn't. So I think. Oh, go ahead.
Real fast. I apologize, guys. You guys kind of cut out for a second, so I missed the meat of that story there. So I apologize. So what were you saying again?
We basically had to have Gainesville EMS come get Jerry from the game because he went to the Sanford game last year, and everybody knows that was the game gave 52 points, and it was right after we fired our defense coordinator and really fired the head coach. But yeah, we pretty much had to have EMS on standby for Jerry because he about had a heart attack in the stadium. And I couldn't blame him. Because watching that game from home, I was ready to throw everything in sight.
Bro, you and me both. We were fighting for our lives watching that game. It was bad.
Yeah, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Alex, and I think this is the perfect time to bring this up. What I saw in that game, and a big reason why there were 52 points given up, and I hate to say it, but it was Mahmoud Diabate. In that game, I don't know what it was, bro, but I saw this man live, like missing tackles, like it's not locked in. I think it was a lot to do with the coaching staff, and that's why I think him going to Utah is going to be such a fresh start for him. I don't know if you guys are putting him on the edge at all. But when I tell you this guy is one of the most explosive pass rushers that we've had in a while off the edge as a freshman, like he was excellent off the edge. And then Todd Grantham put him at middle linebacker, and it completely changed everything about him. And I mean, it was pretty frustrating to see, but this guy's a freak athlete. And if y'all use him right, man, he will be excellent for you guys. But as long as
Hold
No,
on.
go
As
ahead,
long
Mark.
as he said, as long as y'all hang him out to dry, like
Yes.
Todd Grantham did versus LSU, where they ran counter trap the
God.
entire play, the entire game. He was the only linebacker in the box. So all he had to do was just block him, and the play was going for at least 15 yards. As long as y'all don't do that, and because I trust Kyle Whittingham and y'all defensive staff to not be dumb, because y'all are absolutely one of the best out there in the country, you'll be perfectly fine.
Todd Grantham
And the-
did terrible work,
Yeah, and to
demonic
piggyback
work.
Yeah, and to piggyback off Jerry's story, when he was a freshman at Florida,
Yeah.
it was this particular game we played Vanderbilt.
Oh my
He
God,
played
bro! I was there for that one
12
too.
to 14
Oh, boy.
snaps in that entire game
Yep.
and had 3 sacks coming off the edge.
Damn.
Completely dominated the
Crazy,
game
isn't it?
and only
Yeah.
played 12 to 14 snaps in that entire game. So, yeah, if you guys use them right, you guys got a great player.
Yes.
That's, it's funny you talk about the missing tackles because that is something I've heard now. Here's some background with some of the stuff
Oh,
on Diabolic, right? So, when he went into the transfer portal, what I thought was really cool and unique, and I don't know if you guys heard this, but Utah didn't reach out to him after he went into the portal. He reached out to them. He did his research.
Smart man.
Saying like, okay, what schools usually have strengths at linebacker and have great coaches, and at the same time too, what does their depth chart look like, right? And Utah's linebacker coach Colton Swan, he's only been with Utah for a few years now, but he's quickly becoming one of the top linebacker coaches in the country. I mean, the guy's a rising star, and the guys just talk glowingly about him, love him. Now, additionally, with all that stuff, Utah's linebackers they will get down in a stance sometimes, and they'll put their hand in the grass sometimes and rush. But Utah is really good at stunts and blitzes and disguising everything, keeping everybody off guard, right? And the other thing within all this stuff is what I was told is Diabotic went to Utah believing that was the best coaching he was going to be able to get, knowing that he had these certain deficiencies. And with the mindset, like how I talked about Clark and Jalen, right? He went into it with the mindset of pretty much, I'm going to be here 1 year.
Wow.
Coach me up, tell me what to, coach me up, make sure I'm doing what I'm doing, and put me in that position to succeed, And so they've been nothing but raving about him. It's going to be fun to see, but at the same time too, who knows if he's going to go into that game amped up and start missing tackles, because I mean, again, like I told you guys, like they talk about how he's got that dog in him, he's got that confidence.
He does.
It's like I'm the guy, I'm going to make those plays, but if he gets too amped up, coming back to the swamp and everything, then that could, who knows. I do know they're excited about him, but at the same time too, if he does start struggling, Utah's got enough depth at linebacker that they're not going to hesitate to. I mean, Utah usually only has 2 linebackers on the field, and so they've hit the point where they feel like they have enough versatility and faith in their top 4 guys that they can put 3 on the field at a time. But still, I mean, Utah's bread and butter pretty much ever since they've been in the Pac-12 has been 2 linebackers.
Right.
Right.
I think definitely, being able to recognize his deficiencies. And one thing about Mahmoud David, bro, like he's a guy that was, since he came in and stepped on campus, he was like high quality, high class kid, very smart, knowledgeable, very open to learning, like, a guy that you put on the podium to talk after a game. But there was one instance during last season, I think, what game was it? The LSU game that he came on and talked?
Yeah, it was the
After
LSU.
LSU.
It was after the
And
LSU.
dude, it was like just a shift. Like, and we knew, like all the fans, like we knew that something was up with the team and just everything. And at that point, it was like I knew he was checked out, and a lot of the players checked out. So I expect big things from Mahmoud, bro. He's a good player. He's a good player.
And what was crazy about Jerry bringing that up, because see, I actually write for a website that covers Florida football, and after this particular game, Alex, I kid you not. Now, in my regular job, we have a 30-minute break, right? It took me 25 minutes to write this article. because the game was fresh on my mind. I'm like there's no way I can go without.
Yeah.
I got to put this down.
Like
And
this man hopped in the studio and decided to write.
really after that press conference when I saw Mahmoud Diabate and what he said, I was like, no, yeah, like they said, something was definitely
It's out of character, bro.
the team checked out. Yeah, you just knew, like you knew it was done, and isn't like at that point. I think that's when he started looking and saying, you know what, I may have to get out of this environment and find a better place to get coached up because right now this environment is not where I need to be.
And honestly, knowing what we know about the environment, he made the right decision running for cover. He made the right choice.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like a lot of people don't believe King Zay in here because Larry, I think Marcus and AV, we were all in like a group chat, and Zay was like, oh, and Rod as well. I think. What Larry, was it Zay in the group chat that was saying that we were tripping about the whole damn?
Yes, sir. Yep.
He said that,
I'm in the place to be, man. What happened, bro? What happened?
Oh, well, I was basically saying that how our culture changed, and you were saying that we were like capping and we weren't being real about the culture change with Dan Mullen in the middle of the season, how he pretty much checked out. And
He checked out, man. I ain't gonna lie. That some of that just come from hate, but he did check out on y'all. I mean, y'all checked out. As a team, y'all did. Damn, bro, hold on. Pittsburgh just scored again. God, hey. It's a great game right here, bro.
Yeah, we got
pick six out.
They just scored a touchdown.
Pick six, bro.
They just got a pick six.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, bro. Hey, football is back, bro. It's back, bro.
Gotta love it. You gotta love that.
Love it, bro. I love it. Damn, JT, stop throwing picks, man.
Yeah, Alex.
This is a Georgia fan right here. This is a Georgia fan.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's going on?
But yeah, Alex, I guess another question I have for you was in looking at Cam Rising and honestly watching him in that Rose Bowl just kind of dissect Ohio State's defense. Just watching that entire game, I was like, wow, like this is a really this is a guy that's close to being towards that elite status. Because I don't think he was there yet, but I think he's starting to make strides to be at that point. So with Cam Rising, what do you feel like he needs to do to kind of, sort of take that next step? Because I think with a great year this year, entering the draft, I think he could be one of the top quarterbacks in this draft.
I agree with you. I mean, really the big key next thing is, hitting those big plays on the outside. Again, a lot of that has been, Utah's system to an extent. It's also been, his arm last year, and then just the talent level of the receivers in recent years and stuff like that. But that's the big thing for Utah to be a playoff caliber team, right? Which the potential is there. They need the wide receivers to step up. And so within that, that's also going to take Cam trusting those guys and, still playing smart, right?
Right.
But, taking more risks, getting the ball down the field more. He does stuff like that, and that's going to take his game to the next level. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, from everything game-wise, right? Because, there's plenty of things that I've seen and heard in practice where, again, everybody's just gushing over the guy right now. But with what he's shown in the games, that is the one thing he just needs to show. And once everybody sees that his arm strength is back and healthy and that he can hit those throws and hit them at the angles where it's like only him and his guy can get it, or else it's going to be a incomplete pass, right? Those are the big things. So as soon as he starts hitting those big plays with the wide receivers, he's gonna elevate himself that much more into the top quarterback, top tier quarterback conversation. I feel like he should already be there, right? But at the same time, too, again, it was his arm last year, and the fact that he was able to do what he did and elevate that team with still being limited, that says a lot about a quarterback that can really just take what they have at the time and make it happen. I think that that's one of the biggest traits with him, even outside of his leadership and his dual threat stuff. Just being able to find ways to win
Right.
when you're not, fully yourself and stuff like that, or the guys have some deficiencies in a certain area. It's a huge strength of his.
Yeah,
Right.
man, of course. And I would like to tell any Utah fan that's watching this, and it's any fan in general, whatever happens in this game, I would say don't be so quick to judge Cam Rising or even Anthony Richardson for that matter in this game, because you have to think about it. 2018, Joe Burrow, who is like now one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Heisman winner, came into the Swamp, his first time coming to the Swamp, and he got embarrassed. He got absolutely just killed out there, and he had Jamar Chase, he had Justin Jefferson as his wide receiver. Did they have Terrace Marshall that year as well?
Yeah, dude.
They did, but I don't think he played a whole lot.
Okay, and we had a guy by the name of C.J. McWilliams at cornerback covering Justin Jefferson. C.J. McWilliams, you probably don't even know who that guy is, right?
No.
But somehow he came into the Swamp, bro. Joe Burrow.
This man froze in the
Don't
middle of the speech.
judge.
That's
Don't
crazy.
judge.
Hey, well, you guys are freezing up here and there a little bit. I gotta grab my charger here, or else my stuff's
yeah,
in the bag, so I apologize.
No, you're all good.
My thing froze
yeah,
up.
and and going back to that Rose Bowl real quick, I feel like the only reason why you guys lost that game is because Cam Rising ended up getting hurt. I feel like it doesn't happen. Regardless of what Jackson Smith and Jigba did, which was I'm just gonna be honest, that was
Good Lord.
legendary.
Good Lord.
I felt like regardless of what he was doing that game, if Cam Rising doesn't get hurt, Utah wins that game. That was one of the best games I'd ever seen. But
It was awesome, bro. It was awesome.
That busted play at Rising.
It was pretty remarkable, And what's crazy is they had that kid come in that was the former walk-on, right, and lead him down, score that touchdown. But at the same time, too, everybody wants to talk about that. But you were exactly right. There was still that time right there where there was the initial drive that the guy had. It was killed. Like all the momentum was killed, right? Mm-hmm. And had Cam not had that happen, I think it's a different story. The other issue with that game too is Brant Kuithe when he got dinged up. And then also Mekhi Bernard jacked up his shoulder on that ridiculous diving touchdown catch that he had in the corner of the end zone. They were, even though Mekhi was playing defense, he was supposed to be kind of featured a little bit on offense. Kuithe was especially. Utah just started, losing their guys too much, and Cam was still making it happen. And then, when Cam goes down, all hope's lost. It was unfortunate.
And Cam, bro, one thing that I was telling the guys about Cam, when you watch Cam play, he's excellent at controlling the pace. Like, he doesn't let anything really rattle him much. I mean, he's a guy that just, if he has to scramble, he'll scramble. If he has to throw the ball quickly, he'll throw the ball quickly. If he has to throw it away, he'll throw it away. Like, he doesn't really do a lot to change up what you guys are trying to do. Like, he's actually the perfect quarterback for you guys' system. And so that's my thing with, the game coming up. Like, I have PTSD from quarterbacks absolutely just demolishing us as far as possession and everything. So third down, bro. It's just in my head, Third and Grantham is
not there anymore, though. We can be thankful of that.
I was very thankful of that. The one thing I always did like about Utah offense is that the name of the game for them has always been efficiency in converting third downs. And Rising is damn near like the prototype of quarterbacks that assistant in Utah will want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And as another question I had, in preparing for this game, I guess, how are you guys preparing for a quarterback like Anthony Richardson? I mean, he played sparingly last year, had one start that should have never been his first career start. But how are you guys preparing for a quarterback like him? Because he and Cam are kind of similar. They're both dual threat quarterbacks that can hurt you with their legs. So how has the Utah defense been able to kind of prepare for him?
So Utah has a true freshman that just came in this year. He doesn't have his height or his weight, right? But very similar dual threat wise. He's extremely fast, and so he's able to imitate that. Has a decent arm, able to imitate that. At the same time too, you hear Whittingham talking about how Richardson, he's like, look, there's not enough film on Richardson, but at the same time too, everybody's talking about him being a potential top 10 pick. They're talking about his arm. They're talking about his speed at that size. And he just said, he's like, I'm telling you guys, he can make every throw there is. So that's difficult to replicate, right? But the best you can do is repetitively run the type of plays that you expect on something like that as much as possible, and just prepare those guys and lock in the game plan where, for instance, at defensive end for Utah's got 4 pretty solid defensive ends. Okay. But at the same time too, they've got 2 guys. There was another guy that I didn't mention about the same size as the Ellis kid, runs a 4.5 as well. Right. And so if they can lock that down, that's huge, so it's really just locking them in, focusing on the sideline to sideline preparation, and it's not, I know it's kind of a long winding answer for you. It's not easy, but those are just some of the things going on to try to replicate it, along with replicating wise, right? I mean, you can't replicate the humidity in the swamp even.
Right.
And so what I love that Utah has done though is they, in their indoor practice facility, they're like, look, we know we can't replicate it, so our goal is just to make our guys as miserable as possible in playing conditions. Right. And so that's what they've been doing. And to the point where, and this isn't anything against what the weather could be out here and stuff like that, but there's a lot of guys that just feel like, oh man, they made it so unbearable heat wise and so on and so forth that they're like, we don't see it being worse than that there, even though they know it's still going to be a different kind of weather, right? Like, humidity, you're going to have to hold on to the ball that much tighter. I'll tell you this right now, Tavion Thomas at the start of last year was miserable at holding on to the football.
Oh, really?
Wow.
They literally, if memory serves, because I made a wisecrack about this, and then I think they actually made him do it. You know the old movie, The Program.
Yeah.
Where Wesley Snipes is fumbling the football, and they make him carry it around campus for like a week straight, and they're like, "Hey, if you see him, punch the ball out, tackle him, whatever." Right? If memory serves, because I made a wisecrack about that, right? But I'm pretty sure I heard that they kind of made Tavion not they weren't like tackling him or punching the ball out or anything like that, but they literally made him carry around a ball.
Because we literally, when I was in high school playing football, we literally did that to one of our running backs one day because he fumbled in the game. It was like, oh man. The coach really has this man carrying the football around, and they had to do the same thing. Like if one of the players saw him trying to knock it out, just in case, just to see whether he fumbled or not. So,
I remember something like that too back in like high school. But one of my running backs, he had phone problems. Like he was injured for like 4 or 5 games. So what we did was while he was in practice, he was like off working onto the sideline. They duct taped the football to it like in his armpit, to make sure he could feel it and all that stuff. I'm like, damn. He dropping the ball now.
Oh God, that's awesome.
Can I ask him a question?
yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, feel free. I'm you guys as long as you guys want me. I enjoy these conversations, so I'm good.
Definitely, bro.
Yeah. So, Alex, what's the crowd you think you guys bringing to the Swamp? How many people you think make the travel? Fans?
No, that's a good question, right? Because the highest I've heard is 20K, and I think that guy's full of it. I'm not going to give credit, right? But he's like the stadium voice of the Utes. He was trying to say that he's been told it's going to be upwards of that. Like, no, not even close. I believe it was the athletic director at one point saying that he expects, right around 10,000. I know Utah's allotment was, I think, initially 3,000. Then Florida gave them an extra 1,500. They sold all those, and then whatever everybody's coming across. Like I know that I would suspect anywhere between, I would say maybe 6,000 to 8,000, and I think that's. I mean, you guys tell me, but I feel like that's pretty good for traveling.
You're right.
That's definitely good, bro.
What,
That's
8,000? 8,000? Yeah.
That's
Travel-
excellent. Bro.
Yeah.
Travel all the way to Florida? Yeah, 8,000.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing too. I mean, the Swamp, it's a bucket list stadium. I mean, there's no denying that. And everybody wants to, be able to see Utah. I mean, this season's been so highly anticipated ever since last year, right? That everybody wants to get every part of it every chance they get, and so there's that many more people willing to travel now too. You throw into the mix the SEC tailgating, right? What happened?
Yeah. Second question for you. Kind of a culture question. So me and my wife, we watch Salt Lake City Wives.
Oh gosh.
So
Is
DB Coach still on the staff?
Yeah. Here's the thing,
Hey, bro, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Sharif Shah is, if you guys had a 3 or a 5 minute conversation with him, you would walk away and you would say, my life, my perspective just changed for the better.
Right.
He is such an amazing person, such a big heart, right? The stuff with his wife is so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
Yes.
Now, at the same time, too, within all that stuff, Utah has been very careful with everything. He wasn't implicated in anything at all. All this stuff was going down while he was coaching. Is it guilt by association that some people might pop up here and there? Absolutely. And I know that he knows that. And, he's just ready for football. I mean, he's being a loyal person and just making sure that his family is taken care of. And, just really, I don't know. I don't know the words to explain it and stuff like that. And, also not wanting to go too in depth on a lot of things because I want to respect him. But yeah, I mean, he's still there. There's no plans on that even changing. He's honestly, for his perspective, putting his wife to the side on all the stuff that had gone down and her, pleading guilty and everything. Sharif, again, he is an amazing coach, but he's an even more amazing person.
Right.
That even outside of the defensive backs at Utah, every single one of those guys on that team absolutely love that man and how he goes to bat for him and what he does for him and just how he molds them as men, not even football players. So.
Oh, he caught it.
What's going on?
Yeah, it was 4th and 18, and
He catch it?
JT Daniels threw a pass. They called it a catch at the 1 yard line.
Oh my God.
They're reviewing it, but it
Let's
looks
go,
like
JT.
It hit the
it
ground.
looks like it hit the ground.
Damn.
Is
Close,
this like Des Bryant hit the ground or what?
Why you had to bring that up, man?
I'm sorry.
As a Cowboys fan,
Dad Bryant, he made that catch. That was a catch.
why? It's just why. Alex, this is what Jerry does to me. Like he knows that's one of the most painful sports memories I have, and he just likes to bring that up every single chance he gets.
It's because Jerry's a good friend, man. I mean, you got to do that stuff.
I mean, at least you have good sports memories. No, I don't have any of them.
Yeah. So, Jerry. So since you did, I'll just bring up. How about? No, never mind. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I haven't seen your Dolphins win a Super Bowl since you were alive. So I mean,
Hey, but the Dolphins are still popping that champagne. Wait, are they still popping the champagne every year? No.
yes, they are. Yes, they
I
actually.
was gonna say it came close a couple times recently, but yeah, nobody's ran the table yet. I had to think
I
for
know
a
the
second.
Patriots had them scared for a minute.
Yeah. So Jerry, you have that, man. They get to still pop that champagne every year, but at the same time, every year they pop that champagne is just another reminder that it's that many years since they've won it.
I know, man. It's kind of sad.
Hey, at least you have the
sad.
Celtics, Jerry. At least you got
y'all.
that.
They
I
just
know, but that
ball
was
is an
heartbreaking.
incomplete pass, and Pitt's gonna win.
It was called incomplete.
Yep, it hit the ground.
Scrape the ground.
But Marcus, did you have a question? Did you have any question for Alex?
Yeah.
No, I kind of want to circle back a little bit to something you said about Cam Rising and the receiver group is in trying to work on the chemistry. It's kind of almost a mirror image of what we're kind of going through right now. Because we have Anthony Richardson, the guy has all the talent in the world, and the receiving core that's not the most heralded in the world, but there are pieces there like Ricky Pearsall transferred in from Arizona State, guy with a lot of speed, dealt with a foot injury during camp, but he should be good to go. And you have guys like Dejon Reynolds behind him. You got Justin Shorter, who came in a few years ago, who's good size, good heads. He's got to work on a couple things, but there are some things we kind of work out there. So it's kind of a mirror image that I found pretty interesting.
Yeah, you know what though? I mean, here's the thing too, though. I don't have Florida's list pulled up and stuff like that, but I'm sure that you guys have a decent amount of your wide receivers that are probably at least 4-star guys. You've probably got at least one 5-star. You know,
Shorter was a 5-star.
Yeah, sure was. Yeah.
you know when it comes down to it, Utah doesn't, because I mean they haven't done well at that position in recent years, and a lot of it, you know, has probably been the coaching. You know, I never want to say a bad thing about Utah's coach that they had before the one they have now, but he wasn't able to kind of, you know, get in there and show them and like run the routes and like, hey, you got to do this, this, and this, and be so hands-on with them. That way it was more of a father figure kind of thing, right? Now the coach that they have now, Chad Bumphis, who played football at Mississippi State, so you guys are familiar with him. Yeah.
I did not know he was your wide receivers coach.
He's a stud, and the guys are getting so much more out of it. And, you know, he's able to get in there and run, you know, and run the routes with them and stuff like that. Show them how it needs to be done. And those things are crucial, right? Other things with, like, you know, fighting the hand placement, even as wide receivers, right? You know, the quick jab steps with getting off the line. The one thing that Utah's wide receivers have struggled with, and when I say struggled, it has been pitiful, pretty much, aside from Britton Covey, who graduated last year.
Shout out to Covey. He turned up in that Rose Bowl.
He put on a show last year in the Rose Bowl.
Thank God he's gone, boy.
but yeah, I mean, like everybody else had struggled with finding separation, being able to create separation and stuff like that.
Right.
That's something that they're getting better at with Bumphis, but it's still a work in progress, you know. And so it's
same with us.
But yeah, no, Covey. Oh man, that guy was electric. Did you guys see his punt return against Oregon as well?
Oh man, that was a hell of a punt return.
So Utah, yeah. So it's almost halftime, okay, and it was a close enough game, but Utah still had the momentum. And I can't remember how many seconds were left, but I want to say it might have been like 12. And Oregon had the nerve to punt it and give him an opportunity. I don't know if the punter screwed up and didn't listen or what happened, but the way the punt went and everything, and he got that and took one cut and just circled around. That stadium, it was rattling. It was nuts. I was up in the press box, and just it was one of the most deafening moments noise-wise in that stadium, and just how everybody was rocking and everybody was going nuts. It was absolutely insane. And here's one of the cool things on that too, is, you know, you guys will hear plenty about the number 22 for Utah, the two teammates.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw that on College Game Day, and
oh god, yeah,
one of the most heartbreaking stories I've ever seen.
Honestly, man, you know, when he fielded that, he fielded it at the 22-yard line.
Oh my god, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man.
It cut it back and made that difference. That was pretty much the knell. That was pretty much the knell for them in that game. You know,
that was poetic justice right there.
That's almost perfect.
Last year, honestly, it was so crazy. There were so many times that the number 22 came up in crucial situations for Utah. It was bizarre. you know. But yeah, it was, I don't know.
I just hope both of those families are, you know, doing a lot better. You know, the thoughts and prayers are still with them because they're just too young. I mean, they were still kids, and you know, having lives cut short like that. That was again, that was a heartbreaking story, and I
It was.
watched that on game day, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, it nearly brought me to tears for real.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was a terrible situation, bro.
And it brought me to tears, you know. And I'm that type where I go impartial, right? You know,
Right.
I like to say I'm invested in the team, you know. So it's
Right,
like, I'm invested in the team, right? Because rivals, you know, the subscription stuff. When Utah does bad, I suffer, right? When Utah does good, you know, I do better with the subscriptions, right? And you know, and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's those moments where you get close enough to those guys, and those things happen, and it robs you. Like I didn't feel like I could really get in and type up like when that happened to Ty Jordan, running back.
Yep.
I felt like the first article or two I wrote on that, I felt like I was in a fog, and I had to put it together, and I had to type a couple minutes at a time, walk away, you know, just a couple minutes at a time. It was just it was crazy because it was so unreal. And I'll tell you, Ty Jordan, okay, Aaron Lowe, great kid. He was more just Utah through and through, a depth guy. Knew his role and was the ultimate teammate, right? Ty Jordan was so gifted. Literally 4 days before that happened, I was talking to one of the guys on the staff, and they just said, Alex, man, I'm telling you, he is our golden ticket. He's going to take us to the playoffs once, if not twice. He's going to end up on the Heisman stage 2 years from now, possibly next year. And like, it was just nuts. It was just nuts how highly everybody thought of this guy and what they thought that he could do. And then it's just ripped just like that. And it's just, it was insane. And then the fact that Aaron Lowe being his best friend, right, that got him to Utah, wearing his number, is just, oh man, guys,
and that gives me chills. That gives me chills hearing you say that, bro. Like, that is just awful, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I just hate to hear stuff like that, bro. Like, honestly.
Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to bring the mood down or anything like that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, you good, man. We gonna live it up though. How y'all feel when y'all beat Alabama? How did you feel about that?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you out. I help you feel good, man. You know what I'm saying?
When they beat him in the Sugar Bowl?
Yeah. How y'all feel about that? Did y'all feel good? I felt good.
That was insane. Hey, so I had some friends. I had some friends go to the game, okay? And Bama fans were so annoying to him and so arrogant. LSU fans. Yeah, LSU fans started making friends with the Utah fans, and they started telling like, "Hey, look, anytime they say something to you," because they would say something and they would turn around and walk off, right? They like wouldn't face the music.
Yeah.
So this is before the game, okay? So the LSU fans started telling everybody like, "Hey, when they do that, turn around to them and say, down the bowl and around the hole, roll tide roll." And they started doing that, and Bama fans stop and turn around. Like, where did you hear that? What? No, that is not okay. But here's the even crazier thing for you guys on this, okay? Because at that time I wasn't covering the team, but I have enough friends that were on that team. Okay, Utah. Everybody wants to sit back and say, "Oh, well, Bama probably wasn't taking them serious." Utah wasn't taking them serious. Utah was out. They were breaking curfew. They were having too much fun. Some of the guys were not in shape. I mean, Utah had a cornerback playing the game a little over 240 pounds, which just because they weren't taking it serious, and they still thumped them that way. you know. So yeah,
That happened and they still blew out. Wow.
And besides, if you don't think a Nick Saban coach football team is not taking somebody serious, I have a house in Idaho to sell you.
Bro, you know what?
They always Nick Saban always hollering rebuilding year every time they lose, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
You know what?
You know what?
You know what?
I'll say this. I'll say this about Nick Saban. Okay, you look at it with Tom Brady too. Everybody wants the trash winners that constantly win, right? And
Right.
I can't really say a lot of bad things about Nick Saban. You know, he's said a lot of classy things over the years. I know at the same time too, when you coach long enough, you're gonna have some of those little snippets where it's like, what the hell, why? And everybody jump at him, right? You know,
Right.
but it is fun to see the big dog fall, you know. And
It is.
what Ute fans love about that game is still referenced to this day, you know, for like worsts for Alabama when it comes to like little things that happen in the game. Like, oh, well, Alabama hasn't had this happen since. And it's like Sugar Bowl in 2009 against Utah and so on and so forth. You know, and so it's still kind of cool to hear some of those things for everybody from a Utah perspective.
Is that the last time Saban lost back-to-back games?
It's a great
Florida
question.
and then Utah.
And I think since 2013, I think that's what it was. He lost to Auburn and then lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
You said back-to-back game. Did he lose 2019? Did he lose to LSU and Auburn back-to-back or what? Was that?
2019, I think they lost to
They lost to LSU and Auburn, right? Back-to-back.
So here's a question for you guys because of Florida and Utah connection, right? So Urban Meyer, I mean, even Dan Mullen to an extent too, right? But Urban Meyer, you know, obviously brings you guys those championships and everything, but also brought a lot of hell, right? And so,
trust me, as a Giants fan, I know
was it worth it?
When you see the documentary on Netflix, you'll see it'll be on Netflix. So
was it worth it?
Was it worth seeing two
For
championships?
you guys, was it worth
or
it?
seeing two
Yeah,
championships.
it was worth it. Yeah,
it was worth the race. I'm sorry, it was
worth
It was worth it.
bro.
it. Murderers.
We could have done with about the serial killer on the team, but like,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not saying that and wanting anybody to take that lighthearted at all, you know. Maybe that at all. But yeah, no, I mean, it's because he let a lot of them kind of he let the guys run rampant, you know. I mean, it was there wasn't a lot of control there. He let a lot of the guys get away with things, but at the same time too, I mean, look at the championships won, right?
I will say, man, we had a guy on here by the name of Chris Rainey. I don't know if you remember Chris Rainey.
Yeah, Chris Rainey.
Yeah, we had him on, and he was speaking on it, bro. And I think he's actually going to be in a documentary. And just some of the stories are just like insane, bro. Like you have to go back and listen to it, but the program was different. And I think like to this day, bro, like I don't like to be that guy that's kind of like superstitious or whatever, but I think we're reaping. Like I said, I think we're reaping.
Nah, they come to collect, bro. So I don't know what it is, but
I think it's coming around. Seriously.
When's this documentary supposed to be out?
They haven't really announced the date yet, but it's gonna be on Netflix. And I know Urban Meyer was in Gainesville because they were talking to him for the movie. I think they're gonna talk to Tim Tebow.
Yeah, David Nelson there too.
Be on there. You said who?
David Nelson.
Chris
Rainey, Tim Tebow,
Urban Meyer.
I don't know if the Pouncers are going to be in there, but I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, so we're gonna find out just exactly what was going on, and some of the stuff I heard. I will not be surprised, but everybody else gonna be surprised when they see it. I won't. That's all.
I'm gonna be all over watching it. I'll tell you guys. So I've got to see what I can do with interviewing Urban in the next little bit for a thing I'm working on. I'm actually, and it's not going to be the hard hitting that this one is for Netflix, but I'm working on a 3-part docu-series right now.
Awesome.
The coach that was at Utah just before Urban, right? Because he kind of laid the foundation for the success Utah's having now, right? And then Ron McBride, he's kind of viewed as a Polynesian godfather, you know, even though he's white, you know, and everything. And so just kind of some cool storylines with that, but it's been fun. I've been working on that. And I'm hoping to actually snag some old Utes that would be relevant to that while I'm out here. So that'll be fun.
Nice, bro.
But yeah, I gotta try to lock Urban down on some things because I've heard that he was pretty classy throughout a lot of that stuff and respecting McBride, even though he had all that success. And it's easy for a lot of people to say, oh well, Utah started playing football when Urban not the case. Urban took Max guys and took them to the next level.
Now, Alex, I got a question for you, bro. Since we got some Georgia fans on here, we have discussions all the time in our group chat, right? So here's the question I want to ask you: do you feel like Georgia would have won the national championship last year if Mechie and Jameson Williams were healthy?
Are you serious, bro? Are you serious right there?
Yeah.
Really?
Of course you asked that.
Okay, here's the
I
question.
knew it was coming.
Here's the question. So depending on what way I answer this, if one of you guys see me at the tailgate lot and want to get mad at me for the answer that I give, who do I have to fear?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Who are you talking to? Are you referring to a Georgia fan?
Yeah.
You can say you can say say what you feel, but I got something to say too. You know what I'm saying?
I think it would have been a lot more. I do think it would have been a lot more difficult, but at the same time, too, you can't change the scenarios, and they dealt with.
I thought next man was up, man. That's what they told us.
That's usually what they
at Alabama it usually is. So there you go. I mean, look, Ohio State last year. It's like here's what's crazy for Utah this year, and I was actually having this conversation. Some people agree with me, some people don't, but. Going into that Rose Bowl game last year, everybody was sitting back saying like, "Oh, Ohio State's holding all these guys out, so Utah's going to beat them, and it's not going to be anything to get all hyped over, right? It's like it should happen." Well, Utah goes into that, and they're thumping them for a minute, and all of a sudden, C.J. Stroud and Smith Najigba go wild, right? And setting those records. And the conversation changed to instead of Ohio State, held all these guys out, it was Ohio State came back on Utah because Utah was playing a running back at cornerback because all their top cornerbacks were hurt, and it was crazy to just see that narrative, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Bro.
Yeah. There's never. So I grew up playing sports, right? I'm never the type to say. Moral victory. That's great. This, that.
Right.
I hate it. Is nails on a chalkboard. I hate moral victories. Okay.
Yeah.
But I am of the belief that had Utah won that game and that narrative been the other way, Utah is maybe just barely outside the top 10 right now. Getting Love as a dark horse instead of losing that game. And having the narrative be, they did it because, Utah and their cornerbacks, right? All of a sudden, that gives them all this cred and all this respect because how they ran with them on that and puts them as a serious playoff contender and puts them close to the top 5, right? I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I just kind of sit back and just see that because I like to look at the national narrative and stuff like that too. And I just noticed Utah's being taken.
Hey, but Alex, I don't look at it the same way because I look at it as next man. Okay, we was injured all season, with our receivers. So we had to go with some 3 stars. We had to go with McConkey. We had A.D. Mitchell. They stepped up.
We had to go.
Why not? Bennett. Yeah, go with Stetson Bennett as our backup. So why do y'all want Alabama to be healthy just to beat us and we can't be healthy? You know what I'm saying? Our team is not healthy.
Everybody has their injuries.
Yeah, we have injuries. That's the same thing. Paul Firebaum said the same. He's an Alabama fan, and he said the same thing, a cheerleader. And he said the same thing. Why Georgia? What about Georgia not being healthy? So why do y'all want Alabama receivers to play? Oh yeah, they'll beat us. But why we can't have 2 healthy teams? And then y'all Alabama next man up. Brooks, check out this. What Brooks is? What's Brooks? He was a 5-star, 4 or 5-star. The next man up.
He was killing that Auburn game. Then.
Yeah, he was killing the Auburn game. And guess what? I see throughout the season, Florida should have beat Alabama with Mechie and J-Mo. LSU, Auburn, they should have had like 4 or 5, losses. So why when they, why it had to be like, okay, they play healthy with Georgia. Man, come on now, man. Come on, bro.
You make a good point. You do.
They don't make any sense about that excuse, bro. Like, there's some bullshit. Even though in 2018, when Williams went out, Williams was balling. And even though Jake Fromm was throwing some fucked up passes, but Williams went out with a shoulder injury against now I'm just that. That's what y'all brought this.
Hey, Rod.
Like about
Why didn't I get the memo?
Y'all brought it up, and y'all did it. Y'all you did it, man. Y'all brought it up, and I'm just, I'm just.
They just trying to get on our nerves.
I know you trying to go on our nerves.
Really, Jerry.
It is what it is, man.
Appreciate it, Jerry.
Man, it don't make sense, man. It just don't make sense to me, bro. It don't make no sense.
What's the Alabama receiver that just went out? He just went out for surgery, right? I forgot his name. He just went out. I think his name Abuka. They gonna lose like 3 games without him. Do they need him? I forgot his name. He just went out.
I know you're talking about. I just can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think his name was Ebook. I don't know, man. But
fuck
Earl,
that,
George
what
Earl.
about their defense? Their defense was there. Will Anderson was there. The Heisman winning trophy quarterback he played. So man, why y'all want them to have to just? They gotta have all 22 players to play Georgia while they beat down. That don't make sense, bro.
You make a good point because they did have the Heisman winner still playing. They did have Will Anderson on the other side, so you do make a good point in that.
Let me tell you though, Ace. Listen, I'm gonna say this though. They even when Jameson went down and we turned the ball over, they still thought they could beat us. So they still was on. They ain't really care about the injuries at that time. Then when we won and it sink in that we won, goddamn, all hell broke loose. You know what I'm saying?
They beat us in the SEC championship, man. We didn't get no pressure, bro. So any quarterback that's sitting back there, like, man, you're gonna pick a team apart, bro. Like, you get no pressure. It don't matter who it is.
Yeah.
We could have lost to y'all, and we could have lost to Florida. We won't get no pressure on Richardson, bro. Like, we would have lost that game. Like, it goes like that, bro. So that's why I looked that way against the SEC in the SEC championship. Oh, they just whooped on their ass. Yeah, we didn't get no pressure on Bryce, bro. Like, that's how I gonna look, man.
The way y'all trying to play defense, y'all weren't really trying to. Y'all trying to keep him in the pocket. He's happy.
Yeah, we won.
It looked weird. It looked very weird.
Yeah, it looked weird. Yeah.
But I never.
What's your name is Marcus. Yeah, you're right, bro.
Marcus. Hey, look, but I never. I know y'all noticed this, but I never seen a SEC championship being glorified to the point where it's like a national championship. To this point, like right now, since we won championship, everybody's glorifying that SEC championship. This shit crazy, bro. Like, I was trying to figure out which one is important, the national championship or the SEC championship. Like,
that was.
Because people is glorifying the championship, bro.
Well, because the championship that y'all won, right? Like, you got to look at it. I think people feel that way because, one, of course, the injuries, right? And then you guys bring up injuries. Like, injuries are important, but like Utah losing Cam Rising, right, in the middle of that game, that was their primary source. Like, that's their primary source of, like, everything. He's balling out. They lose him, it goes off the rails, and they lose. Like, they stay in it, but they lose.
Off the rails, though, they would still fight.
Right, like, you know what I'm saying? But
I understand that about Utah, though, but Bama, that's no excuse, bro. Like, his next man up, they got a 5-4 star.
They got 5-star seat right there.
It don't matter. And then another thing, J-Mo was a 1-year transfer, bro. Like, he didn't really, went for the Porter. He wouldn't have came there. So you saying if J-Mo don't come there because of the Porter, they lose 4 or 5 games.
Yeah,
come on, man. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
They posted lost to LSU. They posted lost to y'all. They posted lost to Auburn. They posted lost to it was LSU, Auburn, Florida,
and Texas A&M.
Arkansas. They posted lost to Arkansas too.
That's 5 games. Man, then they look at their cornerback. Man, their cornerback get roasted every fucking
Yeah,
week.
bro. Hey, y'all watch that
Every
cornerback?
week.
Not that good, bro.
Alex, what you about to say?
I'll take y'all corners.
so-
I'll take Florida
I'm
corners
just having
over
time
there, bro.
with since he's in there.
So with you guys talking about this, and Jerry, with you mentioning Cam Rising, okay, that actually gives me a perfect time to actually bring up a pretty good point. Okay, so with Utah right now, it's funny because like I'll talk to my guys about some of the guys fighting positions and everything, right? And it's like, they're like, oh well, this, and this, like running back wise. There is no number 2. It's by committee because there's so many different talents and so on and so forth. It just depends on, the time of the game or the opponent and the schemes, right? Well, then all of a sudden they make a comment. They're like, top 10 depth. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like for depth when you're in the top 10. Now, that's a huge compliment for Utah, and especially like, within that, and I say that depth can more withstand stuff within the Pac-12, right? But the one area that they absolutely, God forbid, cannot have anything happen to is Cam, because I mean, you guys saw it. I mean, like I said, like, yeah, that kid came in and he still let him down to score, but there's just those it factors and those different elements that some people bring. Cam brings that.
Is Cam a sophomore? What is he? Rising? What is he? A sophomore? What is he?
He's technically a junior, but a lot of that has more just to do because like COVID and stuff like that. As long as nothing crazy happens this year, he's gone. This is last year.
Well, this is why we stuck with Stetson Bennett. He had an extra year because of COVID year. Got that, man. All right.
Yeah. I don't want him there, but I gotta. Hey, we just
appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. I really appreciate winning championship. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Alex. Oh, I'm just joining in, bro, and I see that you're a Utah fan. Okay, I get it now. Hey, salute to you, right, bro. I like that, bro. I like that about you. You're a Utah fan. I like that, bro. Jerry, they know what I'm talking about. I like that. I like that. And who's Utah rival? Who's Utah rival?
Rivals?
Who y'all rivalry is?
Our rivals, our rivals. So BYU technically over the years and stuff like that.
I'm trying to figure out who won some because you being a Utah fan, know you haven't won a ring. So when you win one, bro, it's gonna feel real good. I'm gonna salute you on there, bro. And I hope you do win a chip, in your lifetime. I hope you see it, bro. Because I get tired of hearing that 41-year bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Georgia and I like my home team. So, I gotta hear 41 years. Man,
my goodness.
So you're not winning a ring, bro. I'm not gonna clown you or down you just because you don't have a chip. That's why I salute you. You with a team like that, and being with a team like that without a ring, bro. I salute that shit, bro.
Hey Rod, I know exactly how you feel with like the long droughts with the rings and everything because baseball wise, I'm a Chicago Cubs fan.
Oh yeah.
It was all got, and it felt good when you won it. It felt so good, bro.
That was tears of joy.
Well, I'm good now. Shit, I'm good.
That was
looking forward to going to the Tampa Bay game. I'm looking forward to going to the Tampa Bay and Yankees game because of Anthony Rizzo. So that's like the main reason I'm going. That's my dude. That's one of my absolute favorite players. So being a Cubs fan, it's cool that I'm able to go to that, especially since Utah is just nowhere really near any MLB teams.
You stay in Utah? You stay in Utah?
Yeah, I live just outside of Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
So that more respect on you, bro. Like I salute to your home team, Utah. I like that. You're my type of guy, bro. I got because I could have been a Florida fan, Georgia. Or Alabama, or anybody who won a ring or whatever. I could have been in it, but I stay with the home team, bro.
I'm Catholic, right? And so my dad was like, he's always followed the Utes and everything, but he was a Notre Dame fan too, right? And
okay.
But I didn't like Notre Dame because I didn't like You know,
I don't like Notre Dame.
I didn't like.
I don't like Rudy, man. I don't like no Rudy, man.
Dude, and so on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just something about it, right? Yeah, you know. So I had that team that I could have latched onto. It's like, hey, I'm Catholic. These guys are Catholic. These guys are great. No.
So you like the Jazz too? So you like them too?
Here's the funny thing on that, Kay.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell just left, man.
Yeah, you know what? I love Donovan Mitchell. Donovan's a great dude, but I didn't like the Jazz when they had Stockton and Malone.
You really?
No, yeah. Well, and here's the main reason why. Okay, John Stockton. You guys have been cussing a little bit here and there, so I'm just gonna. No, John Stockton was an asshole.
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh yeah,
really?
I heard about that.
God, yeah. Oh God,
yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah.
But he went to the same parish as me, St. Vincent's, and so when I was going to school out there, his kids, they were around my sister's age, and so like he was, you know, like they were doing like the half days of school, and then he had one doing a full. But anyway, so he was either him or his wife had to pick up the kids a lot. So when he would come, like he wanted nothing to do with anybody. Like me and some friends when I was little, we walked by his car one time. Hey, Mr. Stockton, how are you? And he looks at us and drops the seat back, rolls his window down. Goes to get communion, walks right out, doesn't want to deal with anybody. Anytime somebody tried talking to him, he didn't really want to deal with them, right? I kind of thought that's how professional athletes work. I talked to him. And then Jeff Hornacek ended up going over there. And Jeff Hornacek took every second he could with everybody. Didn't matter if he had signed an autograph for somebody earlier in the week and they wanted another, he was going to do it. He'd go play basketball with kids at lunchtime or after school. He'd go and he'd do field trips and be a parent chaperone and stuff like that when he could, right? You know, and so like, especially after Hornacek came and I saw the stark differences, I sat back as a kid. I'm like, wow, Stockton's an asshole.
What about Karl Malone then? You met him?
Oh Christ.
I had a little bit of interaction with him, but Carl was Carl. Carl was the guy that would always talk in third person and always full of himself. And hey, he could back it up, right? But yeah, I mean, those two combined together, I just, you know, they are the complete polar opposite of somebody like Donovan Mitchell, and that's why it sucks that Donovan's gone.
Yeah, man, because I mean, they were trying to. You got Danny Ainge over there, man. So, yeah, it's a whole nother level. But you got a lot of draft picks. I mean, shit, you got a lot of draft picks.
A lot of draft picks. I wonder what they're going to be, right?
Oh, you're going to stock up draft picks. You're going to get like a generational talent.
They got like 13 picks, bro. How can it? You ain't gonna miss on 13 picks, bro.
Here's something too, though. Colin Sexton, his
stats,
if you look at it, they were very on par with what Donovan Mitchell was doing his first 3 years, and then obviously he got hurt last year and sat out the majority of the year. So it could turn out awesome, you know. It could turn out that Utah's getting another version of Donovan, just 2 years younger. And locked in longer now, even though Donovan was locked in a long time, right? And now all those draft picks, who knows? But yeah, it sucked losing Donovan because
I know. I mean,
the thing that really ate at me was, you know, I loved how he would be, you know, his social activism and stuff like that. I loved it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, unfortunately, there's just some people that, you know, it's just that. Keyboard warriors now, right? And you know, give things bad names and just you know, just shine a negative light, and you could tell it was wearing on him, you know. And so, I mean, I'm happy that he's going to be out to the point where he's probably going to be a little bit more happier now. Like the last few years, I mean, he seemed happy as hell. He'd do anything for anybody, never say no to anybody. Just classy dude. I know he's still a classy dude. He's gonna be that, so it sucks.
He went somewhere cold. He left somewhere cold and went somewhere colder. That's funny. But I mean, I guess it's a better team that I think they gonna do something. But anyway, but yeah.
Oh, they're in the tank sweepstakes for Victor Wembanyama or whatever it is.
Dude right there. Yeah.
That's one hell of a sweepstakes to be involved in because that boy is cold.
Who you talking about? You talking about the dude? Where he from though? He from
France.
Who?
He's think almost of a mix of Giannis Antetokounmpo and Rudy Gobert.
Hold on. The dude that everybody trying to get?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Victor?
Victor, I can't pronounce his last name.
Wembanyama. It'll pull up.
Hey, is he the kid that played against Bronny like 2 weeks ago?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think because they were saying that the dude that team that played when Bronny went to overseas and played against, they were saying he's projected to be number 1 pick, and it was some team overseas. He had a crazy name. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
they played like 2 weeks ago.
But he plays center, bro. He plays center.
Center, power forward.
Yeah, he's power forward.
He's good. He's got the skills to play shooting guard.
Really?
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, he's basically a 7-foot shooting guard.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, I can't wait to see this because they taking over, man. He overseas, they taking over, man.
Now, Alex, I wanted to get back into the Utah game.
Go ahead, y'all go there, man.
We can talk basketball all night, but anyways. So, do you have any questions for us as far as Florida, man? I mean, if you have any, we're open to answering any. If you have any.
Oh man, I mean, I know I've asked you a couple through here and there and everything, but you talk about how there's some concerns similar to Utah's when it comes to the Florida end of it. So, I mean, what's you guys' confidence level coming into this game? I mean, it's funny, right? Because it's like. You go to Twitter and there's all these fans that, like I said earlier, just think Utah's like some FCS school that they don't know what they're getting into. They don't know this. They don't know that. I mean, Utah's proven themselves over and over again. They're legit. They're coming in, top 10. You guys have a new coaching staff, which can provide some juice, but there's also some uncertainty sometimes, right? So, like, honestly, what's your confidence level coming into this game, but then also this season as well?
Gotcha. Marcus, you want to start with that one, bro?
Yeah, I'll start this one. So, as far as confidence, like mine is probably about an 8, because like we had the advantage that we're at home. It's a night game in a swamp. I do think Dwayne Napier is the right guy for this job, and there's a lot of excitement around the program right now. But again, like we are coming off a 6-win season, and there's a reason we have a new head coach. So that's the reason for the 8.
Yeah,
but I do believe mostly in the talent on the.
Where'd he go,
Marcus? Bro, what happened to Marcus? What happened to Marcus? AB, you can go ahead until he comes back. I don't know what just happened.
Why?
He's an 8. He's an 8.
I'm almost afraid to almost the same thing that happened to me. I don't know what that.
Oh my God!
It was the football gods, all right. They're saying he's nuts. No.
Yeah, well, let's just hope it was football gods and not God himself right now. If it was, we've been doing this podcast for 2 years now. We've never seen that, but I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, my confidence is also around a 7 or 8, based off the fact that this new coaching staff. How can I nicely put this?
They seem locked in.
Care about
their business approach.
Yes, they actually, the coaching staff actually cares about the team, and we know that they're not going to give up on them. I hope. I don't expect them to, but just what he's done since he's gotten to Gainesville, changes.
Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, the changes that he's made. We got Marcus. Oh, God didn't call you home. Thank God.
I've had that for some reason, bro. But I had on the charger, and for some reason it kept going down. I don't know why, but we back now.
Oh, you can.
But going into this particular game, I think these are two evenly matched teams. So for me, I'm confident in our run game, but also I think defensively we're going to be a lot better than what we were last season.
Dude,
but
52 points to Stanford. Come on, we got to be back.
Yeah,
open up.
But yeah, I think this is honestly is going to be a close game, and it's just a matter of if we're able to run the ball, which I feel like we'll be able to. I feel like we have a really good chance to actually win this game. So my confidence is pretty high.
So, I mean, you mentioned that you feel like you'll be able to. What gives you the confidence that you guys will be able to?
To run the ball. The offensive line has looked really good through spring, throughout fall. And a guy like Osiris Torrance is a major factor because this guy was paid the preseason All-American for a reason. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the country. Okay. But I also know that this is not going to be an easy challenge because Utah's defensive line, their front seven is legit. Yeah. Front seven is legit. So just having this coaching staff in place with what they can do, honestly, just gives me that confidence.
So I'll interject for you on this.
Age, you're not legit on the front seven. No, man. Brenton Cox, no, don't do that, bro. No, he got to step up this year. So yeah, he got to, bro. He got to.
With you saying the stuff about like the defensive line Utah stuff being legit and stuff like that. So I'll kind of feed back into what you were saying with that. Okay. Utah is a type of team, and I don't know that Florida knows this as much, but everybody in the Midwest to the West knows that when it comes to Utah, especially Utah's defensive tackles, Utah's got second string guys that would be able to start at the majority. I shouldn't say majority, but at a lot of P5 schools, right? Utah is able to go about 3 deep right now between the defensive tackle positions. Yeah, the first two are just are world beaters, right? They are, and now the fact that they have Luther Ellis, who that was his main position at Utah, that's what he played in the NFL. He's brought his approach where it's this relentless attack, right? And just go, just get to the damn quarterback. Do not let them get past the line of scrimmage, whatever, right? And what with this. What he has said that has stuck out to me is I have enough confidence in my guys. We have enough depth that if my guy can only give me 90%, get out, get on the sideline, take a breather because I'm going to put somebody else in that can give 100 and just keep rolling them and rolling them.
Stop playing, Alec. It ain't like that, bro. If for real, I'm about to bet. If it's like that, man, I'm betting the house, bro. If you 2 and 3 deep. If you 2 and 3 deep like that, man,
at defensive tackle, my God, I feel confident to say that even going into the 3 deep portion of Utah's defensive tackles, that those guys could start at some P5 schools right now. Yes.
Depth means a lot, bro. Depth means a lot about winning, man. That's the way I see toward college football, man. Yeah. You got that depth, man. You got you good. You straight.
So where Florida could try to take advantage, right? Now this is where when I talk about the defensive ends with the 4.5 speed now and the good sideline to sideline speed, that could mitigate it, right? But in years past, where Utah has gotten beat up in the run game is when a play breaks down and a quarterback, the outside, or if it's a designed play to the outside and so on and so forth, which Richardson can provide.
I don't know,
He be running around, boy, for real.
But hey, this is year, Jerry. This is I wish Larry was on here to say, hey, he got to do it. He got to do it, bro. Put it on AR.
Let's hear the confidence level in some of you other guys too here.
Shoot, man.
I'll hear why and try to combat it a little bit too if it makes sense to combat it or agree with you.
So I want to ask you, Alex, man. So, I know you're from Utah, right? So you just where are you right now, in Tampa?
Yeah, I'm in Tampa.
How does it feel over there, bro? Is it pretty hot?
Honestly, it's hotter in Utah right now. It's just the humidity.
Okay, got you.
That's what will get you out.
Alex, you going to the game?
Yeah,
I'll be there too.
Damn! Oh y'all going? Man,
you guys gonna show me how you plug?
I want to go, man. I want to be there.
You guys will have to
Utah fucking shirt. I wish Larry. I wanted Larry. I need a text from brother. You
Larry's
talked to him? He said he coming.
Larry's gonna
Say,
be.
I wouldn't mind being. Hey, check this out, Alex. Let me tell you what I did, Alex. When I went to Georgia, Florida game, I sat on the Florida side. I was the only Georgia fan on that side, bro, and it felt so good, bro. I got the video of it. I was right in the middle talking shit by myself. By myself.
Who Florida was going against?
Bro. They were going against Georgia when we
you
won
talking about Florida?
year.
Oh,
Georgia, Florida. That's what I'm telling Alex. You need to sit on their side, bro.
Alex,
it felt
I'm
so
telling
good.
you, don't being in Jacksonville as opposed to Gainesville. Don't do it, bro. It's not.
I will. I
promise
promise you, I will. It felt good, bro. It felt so good.
Personally, I'll say as far as my takes on the game, I think. For sure. Yeah. I'll tell you, man. I personally feel like, Florida went 6-7 last year, and that was tough. But I think it was a lot of just animosity in the locker room, like a lot of turmoil. Mm-hmm. And those guys were guys that were playing, not knowing where they were going to park the next day for practice. Guys that were playing, eating Cheerios and fruit cups for breakfast and lunch and dinner. And Napier came in day one and provided food and all this stuff, just a culture change. You have to remember.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's huge.
Yeah, these are the same guys.
We've interviewed players on here. They've all said the same thing about the food. They gushed about it.
And this is the same Florida team, bro. This same Florida team, outside of the second best quarterback on that team, in my opinion, the same team, the likes of Naquan Wright, Xavier Henderson, Trent Whittemore, Justin Shorter, Brenton Cox, Javon Dexter. These are the same guys that played Alabama in that, game 3, and they were nose up, fighting them, literally fighting them, and people were like, this might be a top 10 team in the country. Now we know how that went, but you bring a lot of that experience back, a lot of those dogs, a lot of guys from Florida that care a lot about the home state and protecting the swamp. I think that plays a key role. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be a guy that he is super excited. I mean, a guy like him, I think anytime you have a guy like him on the field, you should feel comfortable. I think he'll be the best athlete on any field he steps on for the most part. Georgia. Outside of Georgia, I'll say that. Outside of Georgia, because y'all got Nolan.
That was the worst possible game to have a first starter game. It was.
But hold on.
What about Utah? You gonna disrespect them like that? Say they're not going?
No. I just no. I think
okay now.
Meanwhile,
so I'm not Jerry Utah with the stuff that you're saying, because I mean I've heard a bunch of that stuff about the culture change, and I agree with you on that, right? When Urban came in and changed the culture a little bit and what it did, even at that, Utah the year before, they had a few weird things that just hit that allowed the record to go that way. Could Ron McBride have done what Urban did? Probably not. He could have came close to it, but Urban was that culture change. Mm-hmm. Took it to the next level. Ron McBride was the foundation. Mm-hmm. Urban was that spark, kind of, and Kyle Whittingham's taken it to the stratosphere compared to what everybody would have thought it could have even been in the 90s, right when McBride took over, right? Mm-hmm. But so the one thing with any of that stuff that you guys with any of that stuff that you had said, Jerry, that I will combat on a little bit, because I'm doing this just trying to have fun this way, right?
For sure, bro. I love it.
Break up, Trey.
We here. I love it.
Anthony Richardson, okay?
Yeah.
I get that. I see that. I see how all these people are like, oh my God, he could be like another Cam Newton. That's that. He hasn't shown it completely in the games. Now, at the same time, too, I've been told that he is prone to, making mistakes where it's like,
throw picks
happen, right?
Throw picks.
You cannot do that with Utah's secondary, okay? Utah's secondary has enough experience, and like I said, they've got those two guys that by Pac-12 standards are viewed as lockdown cornerbacks, okay? Mm-hmm. If the second he makes a mistake in the passing game, and it's funny, I almost said throw game because that's what Kyle Whittingham has called it for years, right? And so it's like in my brain that way, but he's going to make those mistakes, and you guys just better hope to God that Utah doesn't take that and capitalize it and take it to the house or flip the field position.
Man, talk your shit, man.
No
So
shit.
it's
I like
No,
that
man.
shit.
it's just me having fun combating it, right? Because I'll flat out admit Anthony Richardson is this talent that can be fun as hell to watch, right?
Yeah.
But again, he still is prone to those mistakes and taking those risks. He doesn't have all that experience yet, even though it's, to me, like it's crazy to think that like people are talking about him in top 10, but right now it's based off of his measurables and you know some of the stuff that he's running and everything. Definitely. But there's enough there that people see that talent, and it's like, you know, can he fully lock in? He hasn't proven that he can fully lock in and stay that consistent yet. So again, when he makes that one risk, when he makes that one mistake, you just got to hope that Utah's guys, for you guys' end of it, don't take that and capitalize on it like they've been known to do when it's come to those Pac-12 games. You know, I mean, they made, even though Stroud still lit them up in the Rose Bowl, like Clark Phillips had that clutch interception in the end zone, right? You know, they had a key strip right before the goal line at one point as well too. I mean, Utah's secondary is clutch, you know, and that's something that, you know, he can fall vulnerable to, you know, because of that inexperience.
I feel like, you know, and with that being said, and I think like all things happen for, you know, it's good in the end. I don't think Anthony Richardson will be nearly as in hell as he was in Jacksonville last year. There's no way. Because that was the greatest defense that I probably have ever seen with my own two eyes. Like, honestly, I'm not going to lie. You get thrown into that game against Jordan Davis, all those guys, right? And he's young and inexperienced. And it's just like, here, you have it. Dan Mullen set him up to be, here, go out there and prove that you're better than Emory Jones. And he goes out there and throws a pick six before half. He tries to, like, run over all these linebackers. And, yeah, he pulled him for a little bit, but they stripped the ball from him. And it's like, dang, man, like that's horrible that happened to him.
No, Jerry. That pick six wasn't his fault.
Hearing this,
the offensive coordinator, they shouldn't have called that shit.
Bro, that's why we say damn low failure. But anyway.
Yeah. I got you.
Hey, Emory Jones just scored. He just scored.
Hearing this kind of reminds me back to like a pivotal Utah moment. Okay. You know, so Alex Smith, when he was a true freshman, McBride brought him in to try to revive the season and see if it could save his job, because Alex was showing a lot his true freshman year, right? Yeah. He comes in and within two plays, I can't remember if both were interceptions or what, but it was a god awful start to a college career and stuff like that. And then look what he did the next year and the year after that. So again, you know, I mean, bro, you can't judge somebody. You can't judge Richardson off of something like that, because, you know, all those things that factor in. And sometimes, you know, he very easily could have came in during the headlights or a little too cocky, thinking he could pull something that he could pull in high school and stuff like that, you know. But
yeah, he learned
now that he's seen that and experienced that and had that season under his belt, even though, again, he hasn't had that many reps, you know. You just don't know. I mean, so I figured I'd just bring up that comparison because, again, you just, first glances can be deceiving.
Definitely. And, you know, the guys just, I think people see those, like, passes that he threw. Like, even if you were playing with your, like, son outside or whatever, throwing that pass off a back foot 50 yards down the sidelines, like, what? Like, that's crazy. But I don't know, man. I'm hoping to see a lot more of that. And I think I want to see better decision-making from him. Like, as far as knowing when to take off, knowing when to throw a pass and when not to throw a pass, him not being – because sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I love AR, but he will get, like, antsy, and he'll try to make something happen that's not there because he's – like, you know, guys that really have, like, that much talent and the measurables, in their head they think they can do it. Even, like, guys like Pat Mahomes, like, you'll be like, why would you throw this? It's because they feel that, you know, that much confidence in themselves and their ability. So I'm hoping he kind of senses that a little bit. Napier kind of calms him down. So that'll be a big part of the game.
It will.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say I am a little worried about is our defensive tackle depth.
Oh,
like we had Javon Dexter. Like he's a proven commodity. Other than that, next one we have Jalen Lee, who's a really talented guy, but who's not proven, and then Big Dez. He's talented, but he struggled with his weight over the last couple of years. He's down to 439 right now. So, but he can move a little bit.
Yeah, so that is legit. 439,
bro. That's being generous. That's being generous.
That's not good. That's not good.
But it's just the crazy thing is he can really move, even though we really don't want him at that size. He can really move at that size. Is wild. I've never seen somebody this big move like that. But
you fans thought it was a typo.
No, bro, no.
A typo.
That's probably
nice.
You wait. He's like Mount Cody.
He's not terrible or anything like that. It's just that he's 439 pounds. It's like he got down to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, because when he came in, he was 480.
Wow. Good for him getting it down though. That's awesome.
Imagine getting it down to 430 pounds. That's crazy to think about. I'm down to 430.
It's insane, but he can move though.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, you got a prediction for the game?
Oh gosh. Yeah. You know, like you guys with your confidence level on your side. I mean, I got a pretty good confidence level on mine because, you know, when it comes down to it, I mean, there's a few factors in, you know, I mean, the thing that I rebutted Jerry with, you know, where I fully expect AR to try to, you know, make some risky plays and they're going to backfire on him. It's Utah's track record as a defense, right? Mm-hmm. You know, from there, Utah's coming in this with a chip on their shoulder and a point to prove. They're pissed off that they lost that Rose Bowl game. They know they still have unfinished business, you know, so it's like they're usually going to the season, you know, trying to prove a point. This year they've got a target on their back, but at the same time, too, they still feel like they're trying to prove a point. You know, Cam Rising is just anytime he's been in a primetime game, he's upped his game. He's that type of player, right? You know, so when it really kind of comes down to it, you know, Utah's tight ends are so elite and legit that if Cam just really can only go to them and drop some running back passes here and there and have to keep Florida honest with some wide receiver plays, they can do it because they did it all year last year, right? But then you also look at the fact of if it starts raining, like it could, and
I think it's gonna rain. I'm pretty sure.
And I'm telling you earlier, I've got a video on my phone I sent to everybody like, oh my god, this is basically a monsoon right now. What the hell is happening? You know, and then it stopped, and I was in the pool like 10 minutes later. But
it's crazy.
That's Florida weather for you.
Yeah,
like the weather people literally say is a 0% chance of rain. This is Florida. It's gonna rain regardless.
Pack a punch just in case when it says 0% chance because it'll be.
Oh, that says 0% chance.
No, it's supposed to rain.
Like if they say it's a 0% chance of rain in Florida, it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
Also, they be lying. They do lie.
They don't know. They don't.
So
they lie up here.
It's crazy.
Yeah. See, so mentioning, mention the stuff with the rain and everything, and knowing that it is going to rain. When Utah has to make that adjustment, whether they're doing the short, quick passes to the tight ends, right, or if they have to be running the ball with Tavion Thomas. Tavion's a horse. He is an absolute freaking horse. All right, and so you guys talk about your vulnerability at the defensive tackle position. Then that's going to be an issue, you know. And so that's why I was asking you guys some of those things, and then, you know, combating them a little bit in a fun, friendly way, right? And hearing some of these things because I wanted to hear it and just see, like, you know, okay, where am I going to be nuts on what I'm thinking with the game and my confidence level, right? So Utah has a point to prove. Okay, they are the more elite team. You know, they've proven it with their ranking. It's not a fluke. They went toe-to-toe with Ohio State last year. That way they thumped Oregon, who was a damn good football team was, you know, around the top 10 the majority of the year.
Definitely.
And they thumped, you know, they were proving points constantly last year. This team has a lot of those guys back. They're that much more improved. The depth, they've filled in the gaps at some of the areas that they had some perceived weaknesses, right? I feel like Utah is going to come into this with a point to prove, and they're going to put the foot on the gas a little bit more than they typically would in some games. Okay. And then also the fact that, again, I just see AR making a few mistakes here and there that are going to prove crucial and give Utah that momentum, because that's the one thing. If you watch Utah's games last year, the second gives Utah momentum from something that Utah's defense was able to do, it's on. It's done. It's absolutely done. So I'm going to go, and you guys are going to all say I'm nuts, but I honestly feel like it's I gave a little bit of a different prediction the other day, but I'll go 38. I'll go 38-24 Utah. I feel confident that Utah can beat them by over 10 points.
Ooh, okay.
It's a statement game for them.
No, definitely.
I mean, yeah.
Y'all putting up 38 points in the swamp on a rainy day? Oh my God.
That's the other factor, though. It depends on how much it rains, right? Now, I mean, if it's raining like crazy the whole time, you guys are gonna see a defensive slugfest. It's not going to be easy scoring points against Utah's defense if you guys have to resort to running the football.
Oh no, Rich, he's too soft for that. He's too soft for the rainy game. Rich is too soft for that shit. It is soft, man.
Nah, I ain't gonna say he's soft, man. I don't know.
He injury prone, man.
Oh, there you are. We got you back.
Brother.
What's going on? Who's injury prone?
Rich said he break a fingernail. He back on sideline.
So you tripping, man?
Bro, he always hurt. Man, ask them. Ace, don't you always hurt? He always hurt.
AR has a history of being hurt.
He's banged up a lot. That hamstring in the South Florida game last year, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was a hamstring.
Oh yeah, he
had something else, didn't he?
Yeah, he had surgery on his knee for meniscus.
Oh Lord, hey, but he good now. So I mean, hopefully, he make it, because the way he run and all that, I don't know, man. Nolan Smith walking and sit on his ass.
You just got to cut the running and just rely on all your other gifts if you're as talented as somebody like him. So
he can throw.
See that develop.
Yeah, because when walking and load sit on his ass, all right.
Hey, no, man, the way, nah, man, fuck all that. Our team, the way Alex explained, I'm listening to how he explained it. His team, bro, I'm scared to play them. You know what I'm saying? He said they 3 DB talk, I'm listening to all the breakdown how he's saying about his defense and all that. Bro, I'm scared to play Utah.
Jared tell him this. Jared said about that shit.
Yeah, I never heard this till I heard him talk about God damn, Utah like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like shit.
Marcus, you got any predictions, bro? I'll put mine last.
Who you talking to me?
Oh, AB and Marcus.
Oh, Marcus.
Marcus, I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, so I think it's gonna be a really close game. The rain's probably gonna be a big factor. It's gonna be nip and tuck. There's gonna be a lot of great football on both sides, and whoever can control the clock and convert more third downs is gonna have a better chance of winning the game. Mm-hmm. I say 2017 Florida, because I do believe the talent on this football team is not the issue. And I think our strengths on the offensive line and that running back with Naquan White and Marshall Johnson and AR's ability as a runner, and him making enough plays in the passing game with Pearsall will probably be the difference.
Yeah. AB, you got a prediction, fam?
Because I think it's going to be a close game too. Now, I had a different prediction on a different podcast we did.
It changes for me too. I don't even know.
So as of right now, I'm gonna say 31-24 Florida.
See, the thing is, I don't even know if our kicker's good. Is he good, bro? Is he straight?
Those damn kickers. Hey, Utah's punter last year probably cost them the CFP.
Man, I get a
Hey
weird
man,
feeling.
I respect y'all Florida fans, bro. Like y'all
especially
are hilarious and funny, bro. I respect y'all, even though you all of your predictions got Florida winning. You know what I'm saying? If I was down like that and Utah, how he explained it, and Utah would have been playing Georgia, I would have been saying like, man, Utah win. They gonna no, bro. I'm gonna keep it. No, hell no. Y'all not beating them people. The way this man explained how his team is, Utah gonna whoop y'all ass, bro. Like, for real, bro. It could be Georgia, and it could be Georgia in the same position that y'all are in. And I'm a Georgia fan. I would be like, nah, bro, I'm picking Utah. Fuck that. Like, for real, they're ranked number 7. They got like their deep, their depth, all that. And the way Alex breaking down, I don't know Utah like that, so I'm listening to what he's saying. Like, bro, them people ain't nothing to play with, bro. Like, when you're deep and 3 deep, at defensive tackle on your defense, and your corners are like that, man, y'all can hang that shit up, bro.
And you know what? I mean, I've tried being fair with, how I've explained it, because, I mean, again, Utah's receivers, they need to prove stuff. They've shown stuff in camp. They still need to prove stuff. I mean, we've seen it in camp and stuff like that over the years, and then it's just fallen flat, right? So I mean, there's definitely areas where Utah can improve, but I mean, when there's depth in areas that's just ridiculous, and there's difference makers. I mean, it's one of those things too. It's like, and I'm not saying you guys look down on Utah, but there's plenty of Florida fans out there that just not giving Utah the respect that they should. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I'm trying to explain it in a way where it's like, no, you have to take these guys freaking serious.
You fucking right.
I mean, there's a reason why, and granted, I mean, USC could surprise people and win it, or Oregon, whatever, but there's a reason why everybody's expecting Utah right now to be the runaway dominant winner of the Pac-12.
For sure, man. I think that's talent.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you guys off, but I just wanted to make sure everybody understood. I'm trying.
You go down there to swap
where there are the weaknesses,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying listening to you, man. You tell me a lot. For real, bro. I enjoy, listening to what you got to say. I listen to enough Florida. I listen to enough Florida fans every fucking day of my life.
We listen to
it. I've been listening to all my life. Like, I'm 41 years old, bro. I've been listening to Florida fans all my life, every damn day, bro.
Same here, bro. Vice versa.
So you got Utah winning, but what's the score?
Utah winning. I don't know. I think it'll be a close game, and I hope it'll be a good game. I want it to be close and to be a good one to watch. I don't want y'all. I don't want it to be a blowout either way. I just want it to be a close, good one. A real close, good game, man. That's how I want it to be. That's a good one.
Hey.
I got it probably like maybe 21-10 or shit. I don't even know because of the rain, but if it's dry, you never know. It might be a big, Florida might put up 24. What you said, 24 to? I don't think it'll be 24-30. I say 24-31 or something like that. I don't know how the field goal kicker Florida have. How y'all? I don't know. I think it'll just be a close game, maybe by no more than 6, 7, something like that. Maybe an odd number of 5 or something like that. It'd be crazy, but I just hope it'd be a close, good game, something to watch. I don't want y'all to blow them out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking big boy shit if y'all don't blow them out, bro. Like, for real.
I think it'll be a tie. I think y'all go to overtime.
Overtime.
Y'all go to like 3 overtimes. And it's just gonna be a tie today, you know what I'm saying?
I actually would not be shocked.
And then you'll come to Jacksonville. We're gonna beat the shit out of them.
That's a great game. They're gonna be a great game.
It's gonna be a time, man.
That's a great one. Now, I love seeing a game 3 overtime.
But I don't think college. They wait to the end, right? They keep going, right?
It used to be. Didn't they change that rule though? I thought they changed it.
They changed it.
Hold on, hold on.
Destroyed something with the overtime now because one of Utah's games this last year. So Cam Rising came in, I want to say it was the very tail end of the third quarter of San Diego State game when Brewer was just looking awful, right? And led them back. They were making a charge. It goes to overtime, right? And then there was that weird rule of after so many overtimes, it's just everybody going for the 2-point conversions only, right? It wasn't even like touchdowns, right? Like,
oh my God.
And Utah, they called it to catch it first. They looked at it again. They ruled that the ball hit the ground and everything. That's one of them that cost them, again, like, Utah could have been very on the cusp of the playoff conversation last year. And there were things with the punter, and then there was that play right there that just cost them. But the big thing that cost them was going with Charlie Brewer over Cam Rising when they kind of knew in their gut that Cam was the guy.
But but for real, this is my prediction. I really want, and I'm sorry, bro, I want Florida to beat y'all, like really do, because I want them undefeated when they play us, bro. Like that's what I want. But they're not gonna beat you. But I really want their ass undefeated, bro. I want them, and I want them to have high hopes and all that shit. And when they play us, we go head to head. That'll be a good game, and I can see it on the Florida side again and talk my big shit. So that's what I want. I want them undefeated, bro. But it's not gonna happen.
You're a Georgia guy, so I want to hear your prediction for Georgia and Oregon too.
I don't think we cover the spread. We'll maybe beat them by 10 and maybe 20, like 27. I mean, it's like from 20, 28, maybe 11 point, 20, 14, 28, 17. I mean, shit like that. Like, I think they're really probably put like 17, no more than 17 points. And we'll get them like 28. But, from what I'm hearing from a couple of players, they said we can score 50 easy. Oof. But that's what I'm hearing from the players, because the players come to my barbershop. A couple of players come there. They talk their big shit. And my wife, her dad, he works for the team. He listens to, he knows a lot. He's an insider, so yeah, I listen to what he got to say. And they said we can really put up some numbers on the offense. Like, we can really put up some numbers. Just got to get the defense. A little physical. That's it. So really? I don't. Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I'm here for.
So all the name tags.
I'm here for them, but I don't. Players can say anything. That's what I'm here for them. Yeah. I know we can't put up no 50 with. Man, I'm not buying onto that bullshit. Even though I'm a Georgia fan, I can't just. Even though what they saying, but I'm listening to what the players saying. Like, man, we can put up some numbers. We can score.
Hey, Rod. So I'll tell you what. If the players say that they can score 50, you know who's a good buddy of mine? Noah Sewell's dad. Should I text you? Be like, yo, Gabe. So
damn,
Georgia players, they think they can score 50 on your boy.
Hey, man, that's what they come. They come to the barbershop. I got a couple. I'm not gonna put the guys out there, call their names, but they come on. And I let them listen to the Twitter spaces I be on, and I show like listen to these Florida fans and shit, man. Listen to talk about y'all. You know what I'm saying?
They keep me on one time. They keep me on when I start talking.
Any given Saturday, man, we might Oregon might beat us, bro. I don't think
they're gonna beat them. Man.
But you never know, bro. You never know. Like, you never know. I don't take nobody for granted. Like, I don't give a damn who it is. South Carolina, Vandy. We gotta come out there to play. Like, every Saturday, you gotta come out there to play, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you do. You got to. Like, you don't come out, you get your ass tore up. It is like that. Ask Florida them about Georgia Southern back in the day. So I know how to throw that in. So it is what it is, man. We just got to come out there to play
for sure,
and we gotta live up to what we did last year. Everybody, step up. We got players that stepping up. How many players we lost? 8? What, 11?
We lost, man. Hey, ask a Florida fan. They know.
Oh, they do know. Larry knows. Larry knows.
I know. I wish Larry's on here, bro, so we get his take on it. But
man, what the? I wish he was on here for real.
Now, Zay, you got a prediction, bro, for the Utah Florida game?
I told you gonna end in the time, man. Overtime.
You dead serious?
Yeah, this.
JB clowning,
college
man.
games can't even top right.
He's trying to dance around the fact that he wants to say Utah's going to win.
Yeah, that's his doing. That's his doing.
See, Zay like Larry in a way, man. He want Utah to win. See, I want Florida to win, but I don't believe it, man. I just want them to be undefeated when they play us.
You know what? I want to see Richardson, bro, because this is all I've been hearing. So I want to see him do something, bro. I want to see him bring this game home, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think personally for me, man, it's going to depend on a lot. So, I do like Florida. I think Florida has a lot of guys that are, ready to play. I think those guys are hungry, just as Utah is, because they lost to UCF, and I was there with my girlfriend about to cry with them.
Oh, you, bro?
I went to the game, yeah, because she lives in Tampa.
Bro, they popping off, dog. I'm talking about they the best team in Florida.
Yeah, bro. We should have. But I think it's going to depend on. I'm leaning on, can our fan base do what we do and make the best quarterbacks in the country look bad in the swamp? Like, that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? If we can do that, how we did Chad Kelly. I know Bo Nix sucked, but we did Bo Nix bad. Even though, what's my guy? Bryce Young, he came in, looked a little flustered in the swamp. The swamp is different. So I'm hoping that maybe, Cam Rising gets some pressure from Brenton Cox, Lloyd Summerall, Princely Umegiling, Antoine Powell, those guys like that. And he throws a pick to like Rashad Torrance or something. And
Jerry,
instead of AR-15.
You're going too far when you mention Britton now. Come on now.
Hey man, put some respect on Brenton Cox.
I do, bro. That was my dude, bro. I just saw him. I had when he was coming out of high school, I really like for real, bro. I just see the laziness in him when he was with us, and then with the same with y'all. Dude, I really wish he would, be a better.
That's a concern. That's a concern.
Man. I want him to do good, bro. I want to do about us,
man.
I'm not gonna talk down on him, but I just can't accept the fact that how he been playing, bro.
I'm talking. Hey, tell him.
I ain't doing that. I like dude, bro, but I just want him to be.
I like him too. Tell him stop tweeting about us on Twitter, man. Worry about Utah, man. Stop worrying about Leave us alone, bro.
I freaking I hate that, bro.
That's better catch for you. That's just what you gonna get with him.
Yeah. Hey, I like it though. That's football, bro. College football, bro. I mean, I like it. Trash talk. I mean,
if he the wrong person to do that,
you got to ball out game one. You got to ball out game one first.
He got ball this whole season. Brady got all the time in the world.
This is
right up here sometimes.
Time now, bro.
And you know what, y'all? He got potential, bro. Like I see it in him. Yeah, he got potential, bro. Like for real, he do,
bro. Rod, that's pretty much the thing with our whole team, bro. Like, there's a lot of guys on there. Like, you could say, "Hey, man, like Javon Dexter can be a first-round pick."
Oh yeah, he'll be. He'll be.
He
different. Like
we got about 4 or 5 guys. We got about 4 or 5 guys. You can say, "Hey, they could be a first-round pick if they do."
Right, I got you. Right, you're right. You're right, Jerry. Yeah, you got You're right. On your defense.
Yeah,
you're right. They can be for exactly. That
This Bennett was 6'7", had a rocking arm, had everything Richardson had. It'd be a first round pick, but hey,
that man crazy.
I got respect for Stetson Bennett. He helped us. All right, I got respect for him. I'm just saying.
Sure.
We stuck.
I got Florida. I got Florida winning it because I'm going to be there, and we lost one game. When I went to the game, I'm good luck, I think.
What's up, man?
I got us 31-28. 31-28.
What's up?
Hey, Larry man, look, man. When he go to game, man, he kind of lose, man. Y'all lose, man. So
true, man.
Stay home.
What I'm hearing is Ute fans need to find you in the tailgate lot, get you a bunch of drinks, right, and just make it so you're like, I can't go to the game.
Alex, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, there's a negative 5% chance of that happening.
I'll go negative 25%.
You will not catch Jerry's hand.
And Larry didn't
I don't drink at all.
Okay. Larry didn't tell me about he was going this game, but hey, I will be in the swamp when y'all play LSU, bro. Or Kentucky.
Bro,
I will be down there.
Hold on, Alex. You think you sent your number in here, bro? and I got Larry's number too. We could actually.
Yeah. Put Alex on. I fuck with him, man. Hey, that's my Utah, my dog, bro.
Yeah, man,
I like that, bro.
You guys are good people. It's been fun. I really appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I'm glad I joined it.
Too, bro.
I just happened to click on it. I'm like, I just left from playing poker. I said, let me see what they talking about, man. And I'm glad I clicked on it, man. I like, hell yeah, man. Hey, man, y'all good people, man. Even though I don't fuck with Florida, but I still fuck with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
They would jump me.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate y'all for coming on tonight.
Yeah.
I guess before we get out of here, Alex, let everybody know where they can follow you and they can read your articles and read everything.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So, I mean, just for friendly banter and just knowledgeable conversations, find me A Markham Rivals on Twitter. So that's AMARKHAM Rivals. My website's through rivals.com. So utenation.com, or you can do just utah.rivals. Check out some of the stuff on there. We've actually got some good articles this week that take some nice statistical dives and stuff like that. I'm actually going to be dropping one tomorrow from a guy that has a pretty cool system in place where he's been pretty accurate over the years, right? And it's everybody's always eager to see his predictions. So yeah, everybody just drop in on that, and I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of cool, fun Gator fans.
Oh man, believe it, when this gets released, they're gonna follow you for sure. For sure,
no, hey, like I said, you guys have been fun. You guys have been
absolutely, man.
I've really appreciated it.
Georgia fan been fun, man. They've been all right, but we've been better,
Man, that man, it's crazy, man.
Don't forget about the Georgia fan. We the best, the brightest,
Yeah, man.
Hey, Jared. Hey, who had dropped the link in the chat? You did?
Yeah, I dropped the link.
Hey man, hey, keep doing that, man. We'll jump on. I'll jump on.
For sure, bro.
Yeah, me too, man. For sure, man.
Yes, sir.
For sure, man. Anytime, bro.
Definitely, man. I appreciate y'all being on here, bro. It's been great having
y'all. No problem, man. No problem. Nice to meet you, Alex, and all that.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. Alex, and good luck, man. Good luck to both of y'all Saturday,
both
man.
Y'all, bro.
Hey, bro, man. Good luck, man. Hey, man, I ain't gonna. I'm being real. I'm more excited to see y'all game. Y'all played than Georgia, bro. I'm for real. I don't give a damn about. I'm excited. I want to see this shit because hype about this Utah, Florida. Oh my God, I'm ready to see that.
The hype of Anthony Richardson versus the hype of Utah. It's gonna be.
Yeah. You said that, Zach. Jerry, you said it the right way. Exactly how it's supposed to be said, bro.
We don't see games like this, like with Georgia, Oregon, or Florida, Utah. We don't see.
Right.
I definitely see this.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good measuring stick for both schools and even Georgia and Oregon. So I'm excited.
Right. It will be.
Yeah, well, with that, Jared, Jared Marks, let everybody know where they can follow y'all.
Yeah, man, you can follow me on Twitter at JBreezyII. That's my primary account. My backup account, just in case I say something crazy, is I am Breezy on Twitter. And you can follow my Instagram at JLamar_II.
Yeah, Jerry's on his 50th account, by the way.
He'll make it.
He on Twitter. He's on Twitter.
Yeah,
bro. Twitter. They blocking out content, bro. Like I can't see what I want to see.
Yeah,
I'm tired of that, bro. I ain't got time.
It's hypersensitive now. It's not the same as what it was.
Yeah. How I get that out there, though, bro?
I don't know.
Well,
no, you know what? You make a great point. So there's this old Utah running back that he was talking about some stuff this morning and ends up getting this response from Twitter, and he ended up screenshotting and showing to everybody. He showed his message on his tweet on what it was responding with and everything. It's like it wasn't even that bad. He was explaining a situation and being against it, and it wasn't even bad, right? But because of the algorithms and stuff like that, it flagged him. He's like,
Bro, they tripping, man. They tripping now, dog. They tripping now, man. I mean, golly, man. We grown, man. God, I mean, sometimes they do, people do be, wilding out, but golly, man.
Yeah, man. Like me, man. I forgot that we was on this pod, man. I had said a little profanity. I apologize to the listeners.
Oh,
yeah, it slipped out, man. Yeah, man. I get like that sometimes.
You good, bro? It's all good. Ace and Marcus, find your voice.
Hey, so I got one thing I want Florida fans to do, all right, because this is something that'll be a sign of respect for Utah and all that stuff. And anytime people will do this, you fans will love them. But BYU is out here playing. I want to say it's Southern Florida, right? So USF.
Yeah.
So anybody listening to this podcast, anytime you come across somebody that you know is a BYU fan, just yell "Go Utes!" just get at him. Just get at him. Just do it. Just do it for me. All right.
I'll do that.
Yeah, we'll just be
all of you guys and anybody listening to the podcast, just
y'all hear the man. Y'all hear the man. Do it.
Yeah, do it. Everybody,
y'all hear him.
Marcus, where can we follow you?
So you already know me. Marcus Davis _ on Twitter and Marcus Davis _ on Instagram.
And with me, you can follow me on Twitter at AceWade1, on Instagram at Ace_Wade1. You can follow the podcast page on Twitter at Inside_Swamp and on Instagram at Inside_Florida Athletics. Follow us on subscribe, and follow us on YouTube because we're going to be streaming on there and on Twitter as well. So we appreciate Alex again. We definitely appreciate you for coming on and talking.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, definitely for previewing the game with us, man. And with that, this has been another great episode of the Swamp Inside Florida Athletics. We'll leave you as we always do. Go Gators. God bless. Take care of your mentals. Tell your loved ones that you love them.
Absolutely.
You just never know with nowadays. And just be safe out there.
Yes, sir.
And anybody going to the game, be safe out there and have fun.
I'm gonna add an extra one for just because of circumstances. Don't get COVID. This shit sucks.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, you got it right now?
Yeah,
man.
I just got over it.
Good.
Dang,
oh, really?
Bro.
Had it twice.
Three
times?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I had it. I had it like right when it was supposedly in the Washington nursing homes only, right?
Oh yeah.
So I had a buddy of mine go watch his brother-in-law Cody Barton playing for the Seahawks. Came back, he had every symptom in the book. Got a bunch of us sick. Yeah, and then got sick last fall, and then just 2.5 weeks ago. So I'm just barely not having the COVID drain and stuff like that, the energy drain. So thank goodness I'm not dealing with that, out here. But yeah, it's
be safe, dog. Be safe because Florida is really
all you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Definitely, man. And with that, everybody, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Everybody,
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We gotta have you back on, man. Definitely.
For sure.
Yes,
matter of fact, we got another. We got another podcast called Indisputable Evidence. So we talk about sports better rule and college football is something we really want to get on to. So during the season, we'd like to have you on there.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you on there as well.
Just hit me up because I'm gonna be getting a thing going here too. I can talk to you guys about it a little bit offline and stuff like that. But Utah has this tradition that they've always had where it's called the 48-hour rule, right? So the last practice before the game, they break the huddle, and it's the 48-hour rule is now in effect. Okay, and so what it is just saying like lock in, focus. It's business. It's all about football now. It's all about winning, but also focusing on brotherhood, right? And with a lot of like the Polynesian culture on Utah's team, what that also evolved into is, I don't know if you guys have ever had kava before, but it's this Polynesian herbal root drink, right? And they would go back to one of the guys' houses. They'd, throw it in a bowl, mix it, and everybody just sit around and just bond and BS. And
y'all got hot wings,
fun stuff like that. What's that?
Y'all got like hot wings and stuff out there.
Yeah,
I got like,
and
wings.
we've got some good wing places, but no. So with this, we're going to be getting a thing going in the next little bit here, and just kind of doing it centered around that and having fun and stuff like that, and bringing people on for just good conversations. They don't even have to be Utah people, So
Oh man,
definitely do something with you guys, sometime during the season, just because obviously playing earlier and checking in with you guys eventually. And
let's do it, man.
Let's do it for sure.
Grateful for the opportunity, bro. Grateful for this opportunity to play Utah.
Hey, bro.
Great.
Jared just dropped that link, and I'm down, man. Y'all just let's do it, man.
Definitely, bro. I gotta hop on y'all's as well, bro. I've been busy, so.
Oh yeah, man, it's cool, but I mean, like I said, I'm glad I hopped on yours. I can see where y'all at, man, and we can do this, man.
Yes, sir, bro. We got football coming up, bro. We got SEC for sure. Let's do it.
Believe that. I think we should do this like before football and all this stuff,
Yeah.
Because it'd be boring in the off season, so I think we should do that. But anyway, y'all take care, man, and it was good stream, man.
Hey, Jerry, real quick, you got the song, right? Jerry, you got the song of the week, right?
I had the one for Indisputable. Wait, do I have it for both this week?
Yeah, you have it for both this week.
Oh shoot, man. Oof. Hold on, give me a second. I can't even think.
Okay. Your second's up.
Oh my gosh.
Your second's up.
Give me Take It to the House by Trick Daddy. That's for AR-15. Take It to the House.
Why did I know he was gonna say that?
No. Hey, do Bad Moon Rising. Do Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah.
Moon Rising.
Actually, that sounds
we'll go with that. Take It to the House. We'll go with that. But everybody be safe. Have a good night, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Travels, bro.
Take care. Man. Appreciate you guys. All right, we'll be talking.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.